Town Hall Heroes. Hello, everyone, and welcome here to Town Hall Heroes episode number... Oh, goodness, what episode is 118? I'm Solid Jake. This week we've got Dunk Train and Snitch, who are in opposite positions. That's okay. We've got Haas joining us for the very first time. I can fix that. Don't worry.
No, it's fine. I want to be Snitch.
I want to be
Please?
Dunk. It's fine. Yeah.
Everyone wants to
yeah.
be Snitch.
So
I even
do you
dream
wanna-
about being
This is
Snitch.
me This is me with a beard. In case you weren't sure what this was.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that because like Snitch is frozen, so I like believe
Yeah.
it's actually Dunk. That's with Snitch's
Oh, am I
voice.
frozen? Feels bad.
Yeah.
It's fine for me though.
Oh,
I'll break
Oh,
everything by
no.
turning the cams off.
Wow.
we're in
Okay.
there. We're in there.
That
And
was
today
actually
we've
really
got
smooth.
we've got a lot to talk about, guys. We're talking about the patch notes. Basically, the way those patch notes are going to affect PAX West. We're going to be talking about Bloodlust, some updates, and an announcement to go with that. And just to say it right now, I don't even know who the donator is. We'll give you your shout out soon. But we hit $6,000 as setting up for the show, meaning. Since our last show, not only has the event become funded, but we've actually hit 2 stretch goals. KO will be confirmed for the event, and then the analyst couch, which means I get to go looking for couches, probably on Craigslist, But we're gonna get that.
You're
couch.
gonna do some casting for a couch? Can
Yeah.
you find one?
Oh god,
It's really handy to have a couch
Yeah.
you can cast from.
Uh-huh. That is true. That is true.
it is true, and we're going to be talking about PAX West. We now know our teams, and, well, that's why Haas is here. He's just qualified, so we'll be talking about all those, all the teams that are qualifying, the teams that have been upset. We saw some upsets in the European season, and now the same here in the NA season. So let's just open up with the intros. Dunkus, how you been, man?
Yeah, man, I've been good. So last week we were talking about that Machines of War hype, and since then I've been looking into other things Blizzard related and got back into WoW. So I went to a WoW coma for a little while. I've been smashing invasions all day, boys. Those Legion ain't got nothing on me. Level 15, get in there, dude. So it's actually a blast that they've made an event that everyone can participate in while leveling and doing all that stuff. So been having a lot of fun with that.
Dunk, because of you, I now rolled a Horde character on your server because I was like, all right. And thematically, I was like, I need to be an Orc Shaman so I can cast Bloodlust. And I started following in your steps of just farming those invasions. But I was like, man, I've got a free 100 upgrade for a character. I'm just gonna do that because I don't have time to level a character. I'm too busy. So I just did that. I walked in, I cast Bloodlust once or twice, called it a day. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool.
Uninstalled WoW. That's it. I'm done.
Done what I came here to do.
Beat the game. We're good. Cast Bloodlust.
Job's done. Snitch, how you been, man? Congrats on another big victory.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been pretty good. I played a LAN and we won somehow. We weren't that confident we were going to win, but we won anyway. So that was pretty good, I guess. And I kind of also got back into WoW. I'm not sure how that happened either, but
I noticed
I've been
Baker
playing a
was
lot.
playing all day.
yeah, we've been playing a lot of that on the side, me, Bakery. Other than that, just mostly looking forward to preparing for BlizzCon now.
So are you gonna be on that Arthlon regimen where you're playing 30 minutes heroes a day and then
Yeah, then
9
like
hours of
18
WoW?
hours of WoW.
Yeah.
That's definitely the way you should go, I think, when it comes to preparing for BlizzCon. Like
That's the world.
last
champ way
year,
to
we
do it.
saw Tempest Storm have a lot of success with that training regimen, so we plan to emulate it as best as we can.
Yeah.
Oh, shots fired, boys. Haas, welcome to the show for the very first time. Since this is, in fact, your first time here in the episode, why don't you give us a bit of a background and as intro to who you are?
First off, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Haas, captain of Imported Support. We just qualified for PAX on Sunday, and it's been a pretty crazy week. Before that, I was a caster back in EU Alpha. Then I did some NA stuff. Good laugh, Snitch. Then moved out to NA for college. played in Dorm, didn't do too great. But now I'm here with 2 other LSU teammates, and we're going Pax.
Very cool. Well, big congrats to that as well. It's going to be a lot of fun to see some new blood. This is your first LAN, right? At least in NA.
Yeah, first proper LAN event with actual where I've won money.
Very cool. Well, as you guys might have noticed, today is Tuesday, not Wednesday. We're doing Town Hall today because I'm going to be getting my fiance at the airport tomorrow. So that's to answer that question that I keep seeing pop up. Good, great, and grand. And we're going to steam right roll into... Steam right roll? Shoot, that sounds... I would order that at the restaurant.
Do a steam right roll.
Into patch discussions where there's a small patch hitting the Heroes community. But the thing about this patch that's a lot of people seemed to be surprised about is there won't be an old patch server for the upcoming event. So players like Haas now have like 9 days to practice.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
A new patch, but it's not like a huge patch. They're not introducing like massive overhauls, but we'll talk about that a little bit after we go through all the balance changes. So just swinging right on over. A small balance patch. Gul going to be the first one. Gul hasn't been in the meta for quite some time. He's going to be getting some small buffs. I mean, shove going down to 20 seconds. I think that's nice. It gives him a lot of potential to. That mobility is definitely a powerful utility. Double trouble. The cooldown reduction has been increased. Okay. And then Giant Scorcher damage increased. Is this impactful at all? Is the shove enough to be cool, or it's just kind of like neat?
Probably the most broken hero in the game.
Second pick every time.
Yeah. First and second. That's how strong he is.
Second.
He's literally taking all of the picks.
Yeah. In all seriousness, like the
Ass.
The distance on shove is like so bad that change is irrelevant, and like I don't know, it's all unused talent, so it's fine. Like the small buffs.
It's okay. I think when my Insanity, now Misfits, used to play Cho'Gath back in the day, a lot of the people used to play chain CC into it because it's kind of the meta where Tyrande was really strong. Yeah. And you can actually use shove while CC'd, so you can get value there where you can like dodge out of the combo.
You can get a mosh pit. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, but it's not big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, a little bit bigger, potentially, on the side of Greymane. Greymane's going to be receiving some damage nerfs to his Q while in the Worgen form. Go for the Throat is also receiving a pretty big nerf. Mark for the Kill is receiving a monstrous damage increase. They're just like, please pick this talent. Please use this heroic. What do you think about the heroic changes?
They're pretty big. I think the heroic changes, like go for the Throat, damage reduction. That's what, like 1/6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant nerf. So, I mean, it's definitely going to reduce his kill potential. In combination with, like, you saw a lot of the EQ, like range form EQ R to kill someone, and that kill potential has been reduced really dramatically between the nerfs to the Q and the R. So, like, you're going to be a little safer at that.
I think it's kind of sad for me. I don't know. At least from the meta I'm playing against, I felt like Greymane was in kind of a rough spot where he's not pick every game right now. Like, I know we probably punish it a lot harder in EU than you would in NA because we have a lot of picks like, Arthas or whatever, but I think...
what are you trying to say, Snitch?
Sorry, a lot of better
Arthas
picks.
Is like the 1-2 slot. Hello.
A lot of much better picks in Europe, like Arthas, because we're better in every way. But I don't know. I honestly felt like Greymane was kind of hard to get value out of in some games, and he wasn't a pickle case now. So I'm actually a little sad to see him nerfed like this, because I think this was one of his big, still heavy impact factors. You get that moment where you EQR, they don't respond to it in time, but you just have that small window and you get the kill and you win the fight. I think that was what he was good at. It's a little sad for me to see this nerfed.
Yeah, I mean, we used Greymane. Like he wasn't picked every single game, but for some reason Vox always banned it against us, and then they let it through once, and we were able to win a game with it. But I mean, it's not always first pick material either, so it's just going to be a change of playstyle. We could maybe just see Cocktail build come back through a little bit with those talent changes coming in as well.
What are those talent changes exactly, Jake? Can we go back and check those out? Because I know there were some tweaks.
Certainly can. Well, Wolfheart,
okay.
the cooldown reduction per attack has been reduced, so he's losing a little bit there. So they're just trying to get more, I guess,
talent diversity at one.
Yeah.
Was that even like the 100% go-to for competitive?
not
I feel like it was
100%.
really common, but not so much that it was crowding everything out.
Yeah, I don't know. And this makes me sad as well. Like, I don't feel like this or Eyes in the Dark particularly needed to get nerfed, and I think they're just hitting him in so many ways right now.
Do you think
Eyes in the Dark needed a fix? Is what it needed, because there was a bug where if you took damage while in stealth, it wouldn't unstealth Greymane.
Well, no, it's because it triggers twice, I believe. I think it triggers on the roll and it triggers again
at the beginning
the roll.
and at the end. Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
That was
but do you think this is like a big enough nerf? Because 3 seconds is still a lot of stealth.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting out, right?
I mean, yeah, it's not going to ruin the talent, but it just seems unnecessary to me. Like, I don't see.
I think the situations where you're getting 3 seconds of stealth value, the extra second is not that relevant most of the time. I mean, so it's not a huge nerf, but it's meaningful, I would say. And in combination with everything else, it all happening at once might be too much. I don't know. But the elixir stuff, increased damage bonus per quest stack from 10 to 15, so the maximum goes from 150 to 225. Like, you still have to hit 15 Qs before your quest finishes.
I mean,
I don't know.
Q build was kind of picked on some maps, like Shrines specifically. Q build Greymane was kind of like a niche there.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that in Europe.
Yeah, so it probably gets a little bit more value on Shrines, and maybe Greymane becomes more of like a niche pick on Shrines. But apart from that, not too sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in theory though, late game that's going to give him a little bit more burst, just in a different sense. You were talking about the EQR, and this way it's kind of more like a QE QR.
Yeah, you actually
have
to. The thing is, the reason that the Q stuff really went out of play is because they made
incendiary elixir change, right?
Yeah. So the initial doesn't do full damage. So now, if you want to do that QE QR combo you're talking about, Jake, like
splash it.
You have to be hitting someone in front and then jumping over them, which is normally a warrior.
Get good.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's still.
I'm just a support player.
There,
but you shouldn't have nerfed Greymane like this. Get good.
I don't know. I mean, Greymane was still like 100% pick ban in Korea, right? Like, at pretty much every game they play, he's in or banned. If I'm not mistaken, at least it was the last time I looked, like a week and a half ago or something. So I'm not surprised to see these. I'm not surprised to see these nerfs at all. Yeah. But, I guess we'll talk about the whole like 1 week before the event thing later. But anyway, yeah. So I don't think Greymane's dead personally. Snitch thinks he's absolutely dead in the dumpster graveyard, 8 feet deep.
Damn.
And, I didn't quite say that.
The wolf pack.
I did say I don't think he needed the nerfs.
Okay. All right. So that's Greymane.
Greymane.
Also, he's dead.
Gul'dan, a hero that sees, well, almost no competitive play, very little, to say the least. Echoed Corruption, the number of hits required to complete this quest has gone up. So in theory, a nerf. Curse of Exhaustion, slow duration increased up to 2.5 seconds. All right, that's a lot of slow. That's something. It's still a long cooldown on the E. What is it? 16 seconds.
What? That's the cooldown of the E. Yeah.
I want to say, is it 16 or I want to say 13? I might be wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's 16.
Yeah, it's a long cooldown. But having 2.5 seconds slow with a talent is decent. Fell armor, the ability damage reduction increased up to 40%. Okay, so he's a little bit more tanky at level 13 if you want to go for that. Does this? I mean, do any of these help him? Like, where he already feels like he's not getting a lot more damage. He feels kind of weak. They're giving him like a utility. They're not giving him damage.
I mean, I feel like all these changes are really tiny. It actually kind of bothers me that Echoed Corruption is like pretty much a must pick in my opinion, but they're nerfing it.
Instead of buffing other talents, they're just nerfing.
Or making it baseline or something.
It was
that
weird.
really bothers me. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about the rest of this stuff. So
I don't know. I had a couple of days before Gamescom. I think I streamed and I was playing Gul'dan, and I had like a talk about Gul'dan where I think I had a few people coming up to me and agreeing with me. Like, my issue with Gul'dan's design is he doesn't feel like this warlock who trades health for mana. He feels like this guy who has to trade health for mana. Like, I feel like they just went the complete wrong way with this design, where it doesn't feel like you have this great boon where you can always have a mana pool. It feels like your mana costs are so high that you have to just be giving up health constantly.
Yeah.
to just justify like his ridiculous mana cost. So I still feel like that's just a huge problem with his innate design, and I don't really think changes are changes that aren't drastic are gonna push him in the right direction. Unless they just give him ridiculous damage to make it worth it.
Right.
I agree.
I think he's gonna be weird.
That's really smart. Like, even if you just think about relate them to Hearthstone, it's a weird thing to do, but like life tap is a utility. It's not a necessity, right? You can build a deck that isn't around life tapping, right?
Exactly.
That's not really true. Like, the fundamental design of life tap is such that all of the Warlock class cards have to be dramatically worse than comparable class cards at low mana costs. Like, if you look at Dark Bomb and stuff, the class cards are very bad in relation to other classes' early drops.
All right. I'm not a pro card stone player one, but fair enough. Anyways, I like what Snitch is trying to say about the fact
I agree
that,
100% with Snitch.
You're so reliant on giving yourself the D constantly.
Yeah, like he just needs the D all the time, and I just can't provide it like all the time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your healer goes and then you can't use your D because your healer's not giving you the Q.
Exactly.
This is where Malfurion comes into play. Come on, his D is pretty good.
Actually, Malfurion could give him a D as well.
Yeah, that's
2D.
true.
Yeah.
Wait, give him the double D?
The problem
double
is
D.
his mana costs are actually such a high portion of his mana pool that Innervate actually doesn't do anything to him. Because like it's literally 1 Q if you get a Malf Innervate.
Yeah.
It's so trash.
Like, I don't know. That's just sums him up so well for me. Is that he doesn't feel like you have this cool ability to use your mana tap. You just have to use mana tap to exist like at all.
Yeah,
Which
like
I
I
think
would
is
rather not have a trait on Gul'dan in exchange for my mana costs to be the same as Li Ming's.
Instantly, I would
That's the
instantly make that
problem.
trade. I think he'd feel so much better.
He would
I
be a
think he'd
better
play a lot
hero.
better. I think he'd be a lot stronger. Like it's just
And that's a problem. When your trait is actually a downside, it's a problem.
And it's not like you get like spell power when you mana tap or anything, right? There's no like added bonus to it.
I mean, there's some synergy talents.
But
like it's
like
16,
what if inherently every time you life tap, you got 5% ability power for your next spell? Like,
or if like the lower health you were, you did more damage.
Yeah.
Then you could like ride the knife's edge.
Yeah. So I feel like riding that edge is going to do
10% health,
damage.
throw and poke. Great. Woo!
That's a cool idea.
Man, risk reward.
I
That's
love
what Warlock's all about, right?
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Horrify as well. Like, is that what it's called? Level 10? Like, that feels great to use. If you land a great one, it feels really cool. Even his kit in general feels like pretty good. Like,
it's really brave of Blizzard to make their first hero that only has 1 heroic too. Oh, I guess Tracer was that first. So, but yeah, Gul'dan too. So
it's nice that Gul'dan doesn't have another heroic choice because people could get easily confused and pick it and lose games immediately, and that would be a shame.
That would be really tragic.
Sadness.
But yeah, honestly, I love his kit, honestly. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like the trait is so poorly implemented that he just feels bad to play.
Yeah, I mean, like when you play Piano Gul'dan, it's kind of fun, but that's like late game but you're like reliant on minions, reliant on health stone, and you're like juggling your health bar and your mana bar, and that feels fun. But like you're spending so many talents on just being able to cast spells essentially and stay alive in the process that it feels kind of bad.
I'm just gone.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, what would you feel about him having that 6th ability of Healthstone being like just a built-in, basically? I mean, we have got Zool, who's got Bone Shield, but what if you could actually just have Healthstones?
I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't. I don't know. It still doesn't fix my issue with his design. Like, it doesn't really. It's just like a band-aid where sometimes you don't have that issue because you have like more regen, but it still just has the same problem for me, where he just feels bad to play because you're just always running out of mana and you're always just draining your own health. Like, that's my issue. It just doesn't feel like there's any reward for it. I don't feel like I'm doing better than other casters because I can trade my health for mana. Like, I just feel like I'm doing the same as other casters and I'm trading my health for mana. Like, it's a shame. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Haas, they're saying you're still quiet. Maybe you can.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Just shove the mic in your mouth. Just do it.
There we go.
There we go. See,
so
that's
as good as again. But yeah, I'm just surprised that we didn't see a change to Reign of Destruction on Gul'dan. Like, I feel that that's needed. Like, Horrify is 100% pick. We've been playing like the Hearts United amateur kind of like tour, and like there would be some times where it's like a 4-team tournament where it's us, 2 free agent teams, and we just relax a little bit and we'll pick like Gul'dan. And shot will just go Reign of Destruction, and it's just so useless. Like, it feels like it has 0 impact. it's just it needs a change because Horrify is just so good.
So,
and
if it didn't have a channel, would that be enough? What do you think they have to do to it?
I feel like it's just like the actual size of it is huge, and the randomness really doesn't help that. Like I feel like if it's maybe a smaller zone, and of course the channel certainly hinders him as well, but if it's a smaller zone, then it therefore reduces the randomness of it as well in turn. So I feel like that could be a little bit of a change that could come in.
Now, if he could slash dance while casting it, would it be enough?
Yeah, that'd just be broken. That'd be OP. Yeah.
Good.
That's the change Gul'dan needs.
Or,
Free slash dance.
Yeah.
That's the dream. Okay. How do you guys feel about random destruction? Do you have any other ideas, like concepts as to like what they could do to make it more worthwhile? Because as mentioned, I mean, we talked about this when he first released. It feels bad to use. Like there's no redeeming factor to it at all. Like I've actually probably picked it in a dozen games, and I don't know if I once felt like I was like, yeah, that was cool. Like I'd rather just have one big infernal drop down. Like if I could like call down like an infernal strike, and like in like a target location, that'd be cooler.
Yeah, like they should just do what they do with possession and throw it on 7. Just give him a new one. It still wouldn't get picked. Guaranteed.
I feel like
exactly the same skill.
it wouldn't even get picked as a
Wouldn't even get
talent.
picked.
Yeah.
It is literally at that point possession.
I was really surprised that they chose to give him Reign of Destruction. Given there are already like quite a few heroic channeled spell damage, like Nazeebo, Ravenous Spirit, and there's stuff that fills similar roles like Starfall if you make it non-channel or Hyperion or whatever. I was really surprised they didn't make it Hellfire, actually, because that's like a really iconic Warlock effect also, where you damage yourself and enemies. I was actually really surprised they didn't opt for that.
How would it work though? When I think of Hellfire, I think of almost being akin to Poison Nova.
Well, it would be channeled.
Okay.
Like, do you remember Hellfire from WoW?
I never played
Vanilla.
WoW. No.
Okay, so Vanilla WoW, Warlocks could channel Hellfire, and it did like every 1 second it pulsed, doing damage to the Warlock and enemies. That was just what I expected from him. I mean, I think Reign of Destruction is amazing thematically. They just need to fix it.
Yeah. Just fix.
Just fix it. Like,
Yeah, just fix it. Yeah.
Just stop not fixing it and fix it. Like,
It's a decent
it's so much easier.
just switch the light flip that says fix.
Yeah, just turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, we
and then
left Reign of
duct tape
Destruction
it.
on unfixed. Oh.
Just duct tape it in the fixed position. I know sometimes those can get a little wonky.
Yeah.
Just switch the light flip. I like that, Dunk. I like,
Is that what I said?
Yeah, I like it.
Wow.
That's good.
GG. No re.
Good. Auriel. Basic attack damage up. Sacred Sweep. Outer damage down. Inner damage down. So they're nerfing your Q. Resurrect. Buff. And the range is up to 5. It's still very close, but better. Let's talk about those changes. So basic attack damage and Sacred Sweep damage. Is this better for her building of her hope energy?
Basic attack was straight up needed, I think. Like her auto attacks, like they felt so smooth and so clean, but the damage was just so terrible. Like
It's the same thing as like Medivh, right? I think Medivh had a similar thing when he first came out, where he felt he had smooth autos and they just did nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas at least that now they've like added the damage, and then that kind of it's a trade-off for the damage on Q. I mean, it's going to be like a nice way to consistently stack up that hope now, but the Q changes, I definitely feel that was probably needed as well. Just because it's a relatively short cooldown. If you take the CD at level 1, it's like 4 seconds. It's spammable. Maybe it didn't need the inner damage, just so there was still that like kind of skill cap there on there. But yeah, the Q and the auto is probably needed in my eyes.
And the Q nerf is really tiny. It's like one auto and you're already trading positive in terms of damage output.
Yeah, exactly.
Even on the center area. So it's not an actual nerf to Auriel overall. It's just tiny compensation.
And Resurrect, I can safely say I've never ever tried this ultimate or heroic. So I don't think you will. Yeah, so I have no clue what those changes are going to do, but the other one, the stasis, is just so good.
Yeah. So before we go on and even talk about the ults, I did want to pull this up. I just want to confirm it. There is this talent where you increase the energy stored from Auriel's basic attacks by 100%. So that's a buff. That talent's been buffed because the damage has been buffed.
Yeah,
correct.
I'd sometimes actually usually take that when I didn't have a good empathetic link target. And
Right.
now that they've also nerfed empathetic link,
Yeah.
that 7 talent does become pretty juicy.
They also buffed Glimmer of Hope. I actually think they did
Yeah,
a lot
they did.
that equalizes this 7 talent tier.
Yeah.
So I think those 3 are all viable choices now. Have you guys been experimenting much with Auriel in EU, Stitch? In scrims and stuff?
We haven't started scrimming yet. But in Hero League, I mean, she seems impactful. She heals a fair amount. Like, the only weakness I can see straight up is no cleanse, but I know Bakery is enjoying her a lot. So
Yeah. I'm enjoying playing her as well.
she has a lot of good utility, like the blind at 13, I think is really important for her. Like, it gives a lot of value. You don't have to pick Lily, so everybody wins.
Yeah. And I mean, when she was first released, I just played like a week of Hero League just playing Auriel, and she definitely felt really impactful. Like, her late game healing can essentially become an AoE Ancestral on on a 4-second cooldown or whatever it is. And it's just so strong late game. As Snitch said, with the blinds as well. You can take the level 1 as well, which was a 4-second cooldown with a 4-second blind. But that's now been nerfed as well, but it's still pretty strong.
I mean, obviously she has the stun in her kit, and Aegis feels great to play with and hard to play against. Like, it's rewarding to get a good Aegis in the right moment.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a cool ability too, because it's like it doesn't have an immediate save. Like, you don't know if they're going to be saved when it goes off.
Yeah, there's still some skill required the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
There's still like that chance to respond, and that's like creates a really cool moment of tension. And that's something that I've been harping on about Heroes as an esport for a long time, is the game needs anticipation, right? Those moments where there's anticipation, like what's going to happen, is that target going to get the next heal or whatever, is great. And so I just objectively love Auriel's kit and that ult in general.
yeah, I mean, I think all in all, I was pretty surprised. I think she's come out really well. I think it's the first hero in a while where it's just been really, really good off the bat. So it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are just the other changes. We talked about some of the level 7 changes, that's just kind of being normalized. Should see a lot of diversity when it comes to level 7. I still think we'll see empathetic link a lot, though, even with that nerf. You think it's like a big enough nerf, or if we have a prominent double warrior meta, like I know Europe likes a lot of double warriors still, is that still just going to be like the go-to for Auriel?
I mean, empathetic links, I think the perfect target for that is a Sonya. It's someone who can just take damage, keep themselves sustained, and take a lot of damage themselves. But yeah, I guess you could do the same with maybe someone like an Arthas. I know EU love Arthas, who can, again, tank a lot of damage, keep himself sustained up, so you don't have to keep wasting those heals that you've gained from that empathetic link onto the tanks. You can actually use it effectively elsewhere.
Cool. Well, we'll have to see the way she all pans out. Diamond Resolved is also a nice buff. The 5 seconds of that the resistance duration is really good. Like, that's a long time. You're talking
5-second hardened shield.
Yeah, you're talking about a Sonya or someone like that can self-sustain while pushing forward. Like, they are going to become so hard to kill.
Now my Sonya has 10 seconds of hardened. What are you going to do?
Brilliant. Plus the stone skin. Let's go.
Don't let Sonya Auriel teams get to level 20, I think, is the answer.
Yeah. And early.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
Don't let Sonya get to level 20 is fair enough.
I mean, that's generally the Sonya game plan anyway.
Yeah.
Don't let Sonya get to level 20.
Twitch chat's yelling at us. It's empathic link. We were just butchering the pronunciation apparently. Thanks, guys. I'll always just hear what the first person says and copy it forever. So somebody,
I'll take the blame on that one.
That's right. You can go all out on this.
I've
main with
sorry. I've been
Wizened Duelist.
I've been learning American while I'm out here, so.
Oh damn, that's not good.
Yeah.
You're in like Louisiana or something too. That's.
Yeah, I am.
I'm worried for you. All right, going into the list, the hero that we all deserve and need.
Oh, brilliant.
Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah.
So we got Parma boost while in the Altar of Storms, OP.
Definitely needed.
So artillery now also increases the basic attack range. So all right, that's something.
Okay.
Lethal blast gone. I don't even remember what that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's.
Was that extra damage on W? I guess.
It's either damage or push. I think the push is.
It was damage.
Yeah,
one was just damage. It was really bad.
I mean, that's what you play Hammer for, right? You want to get in their face and blow them up with the 1-2 punch.
Push them all into
you drop the mines and then you push
get extra damage. Yeah.
Maelstrom Shells is now gone, but I guess that's because it's built.
It got rolled into the trade.
And then the hypercooling engines is the
Cooldown
cooldown reduction is increased from 10 to 15 seconds and no longer makes thrusters always active in all storms because that's base.
Yep.
I mean, this is like nice quality of life changes, but
it does nothing to Hammer's playstyle.
right. It doesn't.
I mean,
It's a good step forward, I think, in terms of like making this hero feel like cool and unique and like finding a place. But I feel like they need to tinker with some of her other stuff. Like, remember when bullhead mines were like OP, Haas? I mean,
yeah.
not like this.
Yeah.
I try to forget. Just getting perma-stunned by mines. Like,
Yeah,
there's like
knock
50
back,
of them in a row.
Yeah. When Mines was played as well, and like in those chokes,
I don't know what happened. He's probably going to be upset at me for leaking it, but for some reason, Bakery suddenly thinks Sergeant Hammer's the best thing of all time.
Please
So
don't
he's been doing with like
Please
four,
don't say
like
that.
he keeps trying to do it with everyone. He's like, "You'll pick Sergeant Hammer, right?" And everyone's like, "What?" But I do
God.
think there's some merit to the idea of innate range Hammer with focus attack. I think there's a possibility that she could be, especially in the meta that we have at least. I think because of the way she works, where she has the long travel time on her shots, but the animation's kind of easy to play with. I think she could see play. Like I think with focus attack, she does a lot of damage, and I used to like the way she felt before. So it's possible that she might see a comeback with just these small quality of life things.
Are we talking about like shrines and BOE, or we're talking about like anywhere?
The idea is you don't just AFK in siege mode, and you kind of just play her like a range, like she used to play. Like I think people think of Hammer, they think I have to be in siege all the time, but she didn't used to be played like that at all. She used to just be like a standard range. You siege when you were pushing, but her normal kit was just she did a lot of damage. She was kind of tanky. She has first aid, and Napalm Strike has always been really good. So I mean, I don't know. I think this is a chance for her to make some sort of comeback. I think she's at least definitely stronger on the upcoming patch. So I think people will tinker with her, but it's tough to call if it will be significant.
I mean, Blizzard have said there in the developer comments that they are looking to dive deeper into changing Hammer, so I am excited to see what they have to come. So should be interesting.
I mean, let's see what they actually read here. I didn't even read the dev comments for her. So she has become outshined by heroes like Li Ming and Chromie because they have the superior poke. And even just when I think about like them comparing her to Li Ming, and they're kind of giving these heroes cool things like Tracer now gets rewind, or she gets additional blinks when she gets a kill, right? We think about like resets and like momentum based heroes. Could be kind of cool if there was some kind of similar reward for Hammer. I don't know how they would do it.
Whenever Hammer gets a kill, she gets thrusters.
Maybe that's it. So she gets she can zoom
so
around.
She can just,
she's
just
literally like that
hoverboard
tank, just flying around everyone, riding them waves. Just I don't know. That could be cool, but I don't think that's what they're going for with her, because then suddenly she's a battle tank, right? Unless they want to make battle tank a build where she can go full range or she can go full battle tank.
They should let her talent into spikes, so she could just thrust us into people and do huge damage that pushes them all out of the way. I've just reinvented Hammer. Dustin,
and
call me.
Dude, at the same time, they could release a zombie universe Hammer skin where it's actually kitted out in the spikes and stuff.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, Dustin, ring me. We'll talk about this.
Oh boy,
they need to make it so that medevac works differently, and you can just fly around and pick up the siege tank and drop it in start 2. That's what we need.
I mean, that would then mean that Medic needs to be played by more than 2 NA teams. So,
yeah, you're right. Rip Medic.
Yeah.
Mary Day plays Medic. She's alive. She's a beautiful healer.
Is she though?
Played by Koreans. That's how you know she's good.
I think Medic's pretty good in some situations, but Medic's not in the patch notes. Stitches is cooldown reduced on Gorge down to 60 seconds, and the mana cost has gone down. So Gorge from 80 to 60 is a big change. We're already seeing Gorge played in some Medivh compositions, but it's not something that we've seen a lot of. Considering this is something that is now much more viable with a 60-second cooldown that aligns with, you have more opportunities to try to make those plays happen, especially based on the timings of objectives. Is this enough to be meta shifting to the point where we might see Medivh and Stitches as a duo become more prominent?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope not.
I think it's still like that niche pick because Stitch isn't a prominent tank right now. So Stitch Medivh, that's the way it's looking like it will go. It still seems like a pocket pick on something like a Towers or a Tomb, where you can just land those easy hooks during a channel or something, and then the enemy's dead because Gorge Portal, just unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, when Medivh first came out, I think me and Jay, the first game we played was on PTL. We played Gorge Portal, and we haven't played it since. But it's always like the idea in the back of my mind where I always have this like weird theory where things that are always perceived as lame cheese in MOBAs get completely ignored until they get brought out in competitive, and then they become meta. So there's going to be a point where somebody's going to get really good at Portal Gorge, and then everybody has to get really good at Portal Gorge, and then it gets removed. So I'm just calling that now.
And then you have 2 weeks of terrifying Hero League where you just don't want to play the
it's
game.
It's Mirrored into Rande all over again.
You just want to sit in a corner and cry yourself to sleep.
Everyone's like, Mirrored into Rande. That's some funny change you see. And then it's the whole game for 6 months.
Like back in Arthur's Kerrigan, every game on Mines, let's go.
I don't want this all over again, okay?
I think the problem too is that like the Gorge portal kind of interacts in a way that you just can't deal with. Like you fundamentally can't interact with that a lot of the time. Like if he gets portaled in, Gorge, someone portals out, like there's nothing you can do. There's not any tools to deal with that in the game. Like you're dead, and I don't like promoting that kind of lack of interactivity in a sense. Like it's like if Stitches hooks someone with a long fishing hook, that takes at least some skill. But like the Gorge portal thing, I don't like because it's like not. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't want that to be good.
Yeah, it's just there's just nowhere to respond to it in most situations. It just forces. Well, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. You just don't get gorged.
Yeah, just dodge hooks. You're fine.
Just dodge his mouse when he's gorging you. Just don't get clicked.
And just kill Medivh.
Just sit in base. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I don't see the problem.
And let them come to you.
Yeah, like they have to come to your core eventually. Just kill them there. I just don't see the issue.
Not that hard, yeah.
Hey, on Towers of Doom, they don't have to go to your core. You're wrong.
Ooh. Ban Towers
Just
of
ban
Doom.
Towers, yeah. You get
Ban
one ban.
Towers,
Easiest competitive series
There we
of my
go.
life.
Easy, GG.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, that change the Gorge is impactful, and it's gonna.
As someone in chat said, just play Abatha.
Yeah, right. Just AFK in base.
Yeah, until they portal on your Abatha and it's all over.
Actually, yeah, that's not that risky with Medivh. He can scout you out with his bird form. You're just grub. You're just one of those little worms in the dirt. He's looking around for that early bird snack. And GG. Tyrael also getting some changes here in this patch. Eldruin's Might. They have given it an additional second on cooldown. So that's less damage, less mobility, less holy grounds. I mean, it's definitely I mean, it's 1 second, but that's still a big deal. Judgment is getting buffed, cooldown reduction, and then Sanct is getting nerfed, cooldown buff or increase. So, I mean, this is an overall nerf to Tyrael, for sure, just in his base kit right there.
Yeah, the base kit certainly got nerfed. And then they're just trying to make the 4 talent diversity a little better by increasing the cooldown of Eldruin's Might and then making that level 4 a little bit better.
I don't even know that increases the diversity. Like, I know Alex, at least a lot of the time, was preferring that talent already, and then if you look at it, it's actually just a buff to Tyrion's Q if you take that talent now.
Yeah.
It's just spending a talent to do it.
I don't even really like that change. Yeah, but I don't even think that's not a big a deal. Like, I think spending that talent was already okay. Like, you could get value out of whatever it's called, the Smite talent that made everybody run really fast.
Yeah.
Like, that talent is good, but Heraldic Reforging is already seeing a lot of play, at least from what I could see. Like, I know they were taking it in Korea, they were taking it.
That's at least like a compelling stylistic choice to be able to get all that movement speed and enable your assassins to get in or get out. Or to be able to have a little bit more control with the queue in terms of options, stalling, the holy grounds, the whole deal. I love this change just to make that a compelling choice. And I think regionally we'll see a big disparity at level 4.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of buffing a hero that I already think is the best hero in the game. Maybe that's why I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyrael is really strong.
Yeah, he is really good. Well, going through the other changes, Reciprocate got a nerf. The Angel's Grace movement speed has been increased, level 7. Searing attacks gone, and then follow through added.
Like, I don't know. This is the
So
same
no-
problem for me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I think giving Tyrael follow through is super stupid.
That was a real
woo,
bruiser.
we took some damage off reciprocate, and then we gave him like one of the best talents you could ever ask for. Woo, see ya, Tyrael. Like, I don't know. Like,
on a hero which can relatively spam spells quite well.
what's that? You might be struggling with this increased Q like timer. We'll lower the cooldown for that for you as well, just so you get more
Yeah.
follow throughs in.
Yeah, I mean it's a hero that's just in the front line auto attacking anyway. Uses a Q to get there, hits an auto attack with follow through, uses an E, hits
Yeah,
an
like-
auto attack,
And he
shields
doesn't,
himself.
he doesn't
'cause
have
he's,
mana problems.
Like, I know we had games where Alex had the most damage on Tyrael, which
Yeah.
in the past would never have happened, but now he's in kind of this weird damagey bruiser spot.
Yeah,
Not
he's in,
like
he's
a-
in the Sonya spot.
It's like a kick at Alex, like just Tyrael in
Yeah.
general.
No, it's a kick.
Alex
you,
never would have pulled that off.
No, it's a kick at you and your assassin snitch. You can't out DPS a Tyrael. Come
I'm
on.
garbage, so
Yeah, you are.
Alex has to pick up the slack, and I think this is
Yeah.
going to let him do that even better, which is a good thing. But I'm still going to get upset about it. No, it's actually I don't know. I just don't understand it all. I really think he was already in an
Yeah.
amazing spot, and I don't think
mean,
these
the only-
changes
the
hurt
only
him.
bad-
So
The only bad change is the Sanct, and that's it.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
a sank nerf, and then
Yeah,
A judgment
and then
buff.
everything else is buffed.
Yeah, I mean, even the change to angelic absorption, it's just giving him more options at 13, salvation.
Yeah, but imposing will is just too good.
Yeah, but like that's great.
It's there.
for him.
Yeah,
He's gonna be really good.
yeah.
Oh, he already is. But
I mean, there are arguments where you could, in theory, just like first pick Tyrael in that one rotation slot, and now
happens all the time. I don't
Yeah.
know.
and now there's even more reason to do it.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like I genuinely
Yeah.
think he's just dominating the meta. At least for us, he's just dominating
Yeah,
the
no,
meta right now. Like
we love Tyrael. Like it's
yeah,
so stupid how good
I
he
mean,
is.
when I watched what was the last land for NA? Whichever one that was. Like
it
I don't
was
care that much.
Burbank,
NA's
yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
Tyrael goes to like 4th, 5th pick, and we're sitting
Yeah,
here
but
like,
that was
hello.
the
Yeah,
worst-
no, we
That was
pick
the worst Tyrael play we've ever seen
Yeah, I
on
mean,
any
true.
serious stage. Like, if you
Yeah.
watch those Tyrael games, they were disasters.
I mean, you can cut the Tyrael, worst play we've ever seen. But I mean, I don't know. Tyrael, he's literally just destroying the meta right now for us. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you see people trying to run like Butcher with it or whatever, and it's just kind of gimmicky. But
Yeah.
genuinely, like he's been first pick, and you never give him up right now unless you have a good reason. Like unless you have a plan and it's like map related, like you can just out rotate them and hope that you win because it's Tomb.
Yeah.
You never give him up because he's just gonna kill anybody that doesn't have an escape and allow
Save
anybody
my
to
team.
kill. Allow his team to kill anybody else that doesn't have an escape because you can't damage them. Like I don't know, it's just not fun.
damn.
He's so sticky. It's really frustrating, too. Like,
Yeah.
you can't peel him off you as a solo support.
Hell.
It is
And like imposing will is the worst feeling
Yes.
thing.
Oh,
Like it brings
mhm.
me flashbacks of imposing presence when it was the same thing, and it wasn't like sticky like it is now, where you have to hit the same person. Like it used to just be just dumpster range carries, and I used to like not want to play the game because imposing presence was so stupid. Like it feels the same way, and with him so prevalent right now, it's I don't know.
Opposing was just horrible.
It's level 13 too. It's like just
Yeah,
ridiculous. Everything about it is ridiculous. It's such a strong talent.
yeah. And W's not exactly a long cooldown anyway.
No. Imagine if they gave that cooldown reduction.
Hey,
They should
Good
bring
idea,
back
Isaac.
Cast
Jake,
Aside.
Jake, come on, please don't give them ideas. Come on.
Bring back cast aside and so
Yeah,
just
so
give
there's
Cast
actual
Aside.
I
competition.
actually like
So there's
Cast
competition at 13. Like, you have an
Yeah.
actual like choice there because
Cast
these other
Aside was
talents
a
are
fine
never going to
talent.
get picked over Imposing Will.
You know,
Go on.
no, go ahead, Haas.
I was going to say, Cast Aside was only really broken back then because it was a direct counter to Nazebo's Ravenous, which was 100% taken.
Right.
And Cast Aside, like, you just throw it over a wall and just straight away interrupt a Ravenous. Like, it was a fine talent. But I think if you add it back and you have Holy Ground as well in there, then it's just a little bit too much displacement.
But I think they should do it anyway because clearly they don't care how much they buff Tyrael. So just throw everything at him. Let's see what happens.
You're just trying to get a call from D-Bro, come on.
I would like to see Cast Aside as an alternative to Holy Ground, a level 16 talent.
That's fine.
I would like that. I think that'd
Yeah.
be really cool. You choose either to zone them out or push them away, push them around, have a bit of control one or another. One's an interrupt, one's just space. And I think that would be really compelling. And again, we wouldn't just see Holy Ground every game.
Yeah.
On top of that, like we're getting Alarak, who has telepathy, which is a pretty similar mechanic where you can push people around. So it's not gonna. Then it was the only thing in the game that felt like you were just kind of being moved. And it didn't always like graphically look. I remember the first few times it got pushed by cast aside, I was like, whoa, what was that? Right. I just remember that really early on, and being a little like, what the heck? What am I doing? But telepathy is obviously going to be pretty similar. It's going to be like just these red beams that push you around a little bit, and from like that seemingly randomly. So I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Also, the game has had a lot of power creep since then when cast was removed, so it would fit in a lot better at the current power level of the game.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember cast aside, basically your smite would have you'd have a push
just
with
displaced,
it.
push to the edge. Yeah.
And it was disgustingly buggy, and it would just throw you miles. If he caught you with like the tiniest tip of it, you just
Yeah. So the magnitude of the push wasn't related to how close you were to the center. So like if you got hit by the edge of the smite, you'd actually just go across like an entire lane or something. It was hilarious, but it was still cool because if you could like knock people into your team or away too, because it was based right on the cast point. And it like pushed them directly away from the center. So I actually really liked the like small intricacies of placement that could like decide team fights.
Well, just think of like, you're running ETC Tyrael and Yeldruin's might behind them and you boop them all into the mosh pit. You're just like, get in there. It's just like, that's the worst, man. Like, but that's the kind of stuff you could do with it, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's not quite a mighty gust the way Snitch tries to explain it. It wasn't quite.
It was literally Mighty Gust. They when they invented Mighty Gust, because that came out after they removed Cast Aside, they just made Mighty Gust like 50 Cast Asides at once. I'm telling you, that's how it's coded. You heard it here.
Kappa Pride.
Kappa Pride? Does it make any sense?
That's how I emote, man. All right, well, those are the patch notes. I don't know if there was anything else, like bug fixes, or was there anything like game breaking? Auriel can no longer become polymorphed indefinitely if she exits a self-cast Crystal Aegis in the same moment that she comes under the effect of a Garden of Terror's Queen's Curse ability.
That sounds like a fun bug.
Yeah. Just to be like it's on Garden of Terror, so you get polyed on like the first Terror, and then you have to sit through a 30-minute game while polyed. Like that is not fun.
Do you think it happened? Do you think it persisted through death? That would be insanity.
I would assume no, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So I think they should make that a feature.
Yeah.
And they should give it to Tyrael.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, those are our badge notes tonight, guys. And we're going to move down the line to some updates on Bloodlust. So Bloodlust has been going stupidly well. Thank you all so much for the support. I can't shout everyone out. I initially thought I would be able to do that. There's just far too many people supporting it, but we have surpassed the $6,000 mark, which is just thank you. I really can't thank you guys enough. And that's huge. So KO has been confirmed for the event. We're going to be booking him a flight, flying him out here, and he'll be part of the commentary team. Also, since we hit $6,000, that means the analyst couch will be here. So basically what that means on my end is I'm going to be getting an actual couch. We're going to have, kind of like the way ESL does it, where there's like, a pre-game analysis during the draft and then post-game analysis. The big benefit of this is it makes it feel really natural. It gives the commentators a nice break. And this, also like reduces the amount of downtime. So it's a lot easier to stay on camera and make it really fun and not just throw it to a commercial break and just keep things rolling and then hop in from game to game to game, bouncing between the commentary desk and the analyst couch. So for me, this means I need to, invest in things like other microphones and camera and stuff, but like the actual reward in the end is so worth it that it's just amazing. And with the support of our sponsors, we're now sponsored by Matcherino and Ting. This is really going to help us do this. So since Bloodlust has been enormously more successful than I ever thought it would have been, I've actually kind of sped up the timeline on which I wasn't expecting this event to even have Dunk here live with me or KO or Zoya or anyone else. I was expecting Dunk and I to be casting in our bedrooms or whatever, online for maybe $2,500. But the support's been, amazing. And, my dream for a long time has been to create my own esports business, essentially, right? Basically, like launch a studio. And it's, I grew up watching things like Take TV, Home Story Cup. those kind of events, and that's always been like so cool to me, right? To do that, and I have this space to do that, and I started dreaming it up. I was like, whoa, I have this house now. Why couldn't I make that? And that's pretty much where it's going. So I'm really excited to finally announce my new project, or my new company. I guess I own a company now, guys. Arcane 8. Welcome to Arcane 8, everyone.
Ooh, fancy video.
So I don't have a full-blown intro video or anything cool. But
I was so
Arcane 8
excited.
is officially launching now. This is the website. You can just go to arcane8.com to find out more. This also is going to be the official opening of the signups for the qualifier. So the Bloodlust Open qualifier is now open to everyone. You can sign up at arcane8.com. You can see all of our info here.
Now.
Yep. If you want to play in the event, go to arcane8.com. The official Twitter is at arcane8_GG. We've got a YouTube. We've got the whole deal. Wow. Actually, I've been working on this for so long. It's weird to finally be sharing it with everyone. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. It's not a ton. It's really basic. We wanted the website to be pretty straightforward, but like, we've got our Ting. This is another big thing I really want to push out. Like, the only reason we're able to fly people out and do this and like make this whole production what it is because of Ting. Like, straight up, them stepping forward and being willing to really believe in our project is enabling us to make this a reality. I mean, the prize pool is huge, but like, we were going to be pulling a lot of money out of the prize pool to fly out Dunk, to fly out Zoya if we hit those stretch goals. And the fact that we don't have to do that is like really good for the teams, because now they just get to, every dollar that goes into the prize pool is prize money. It's not production costs. It's none of that. Also, I actually get to pay Dunk Train for coming out here. He's not just coming out here for 5 days and casting for free. I can actually give him, a little bit of money, not normal casting rates, but it's still great. Anyways, I just want to say that if you guys are on the market where you're looking to maybe save some money on your phone, and you're not, like, this thing is really designed to be for the light end users. If you're a power user that's playing Pokemon Go 24/7, Ting isn't the product for you, and they're well aware of that. But like, if you're mostly on Wi-Fi and you don't like necessarily text and call a lot, you could save a ton of money on Ting. And Ting's done a great thing where they actually they have a partnership with us. So if you click the link here on this page, it'll just tell you, welcome Arcane 8 fans, you can save $25 in credit towards the Ting service. And I really want to encourage everyone to check this out if you think it's a right fit for you. Ting is definitely a great option. And like I said, they are helping us out a ton. And they're also talking about like gigabit internet in my area, which is like super exciting because I want gigabit internet. If that goes through, then I'm going to be one happy nerd. I guess the only like final things to just kind of poke through here is I'd like to implore all of you to go to the Arcane 8 YouTube and subscribe to that. It's crucial that the YouTube, I think I need to hit 100 subs to basically move things forward with that. And I haven't decided if TownHall and everything will move to it, because TownHall officially exists under the brand of Arcane 8 now. It's basically property of Arcane 8. All the TownHall shows, every show I produce is under this. So I'm contemplating whether or not I should swap channels. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. And a big shout out to the team that's been part of this so far. I mean, Dunk is officially moving over to be part of the family. My fiance has helped me done a lot of this planning. Ryan, this guy played in Heroes of the Dorm with the Yukon Tricky Turtles. His name is RPC'd. He actually designed both the Arcane 8 logo and the Bloodlust logo. Sophus has been, directing Heroes tournaments forever, working well under that. And then my good buddy Unctious, who I've been friends with for a long time, we've actually cast a bit of Overwatch together. He's local to me. He's going to be helping out. He'll probably be part of Arcane 8. He'll probably be sitting there working on basically as a host for the analyst couch. So that's our initial crew with the launch. I'm really excited for all of this. I've just now realized I haven't been showing all of those beautiful faces on the screen. Damn. But I guess welcome to Arcane 8.
You need like a key sound for Arcane 8. You need like a...
We're all meant to applaud.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the YouTube link? There's no actual URL yet because the way YouTube works, it's like a scrambled list of numbers.
Yeah.
That's why I need everyone to please go subscribe to the YouTube. It's also linked if you click the VODs thing on arcane8.com. You just click VODs, it'll take you directly to the YouTube page. So lots to do, lots of growing to do. I'll just to ramble off a little bit more, the end goal is to actually remodel this entire space. I don't know how many square feet it is. We have a lot of space. We want to remodel it out so we actually have 2 rooms down here for commentators to stay in. We have basically a commentator guest bath and kitchen. All the plumbing and stuff already exists. This used to be a second apartment, and it's pretty much been unused for forever, this area I'm in. The space I'm in right now, where the studio presently exists, would actually become a lounge because there's a fireplace immediately behind me, and we're like thinking of making this a really cool like lounge to watch esports in. And then we have this whole place that used to be my fiance's grandfather, because he built this house, used to be his workshop. That's what's going to become the actual studio. We want to build out the stage. We want to do it all. So we're a long way from there, but I'm really excited to see where we can take it.
You have a fireplace, so can we confirm that you're selling out to Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Making a tavern.
Totally want to do that, and I've totally thought about it.
Oh no!
Because I have.
It was so easy.
So the last thing that I can do here, and this doesn't apply to Heroes, unfortunately, but I have the capacity to support 1v1 tournaments. So in theory, I could fly out 8 Hearthstone players and do a Hearthstone LAN with them. Or in theory, I could do a Broodor HD event. And currently, I'm talking about doing Melee and or Smash 4 here in the studio, and trying to see where we can go with that because of my roots in Smash. So a lot of cool stuff that can be done. This studio is going to be doing not just Heroes. Heroes is definitely a big focus for it. But Overwatch is in the scope of things, and some of those other titles. Mainly sticking to Blizzard games. That's kind of what I care about, and I'm going to work in games that I like. I'm not going to go sellout mode. That's not my goal. So, but all right, enough rambling about that, and I guess we can go and talk about Gamescom. Snitch, the champion.
Hey.
Is EU
Champion.
easy, or was Bakery just
EU's
being
not easy specifically?
You
That's
sure?
what Bakery said.
I know, I heard him
Because
say it.
everything was close now.
I know, but you won, so it must be easy because
Yeah.
No, I meant to say EU was easy. I mean, it wasn't that easy. Like, I had to play like a whole bunch of games, and I had to. I don't know. Like before this event, we lost like every scrim. Like EU's not easy anymore. Okay, we were not confident going into this one.
really.
I should say a lot about EU.
Interesting. Do you think the level of players you feel has improved dramatically over the past few months in EU?
I think it's better. I think we have 3 solid teams now. Obviously, I think other teams, like up and coming teams, look a lot better than they used to. Like, you know, we had like TBD, we had Jabronis. Like, we had teams like this that are just kind of like it's a mesh of players, and obviously they haven't put the time in yet, but they still looked good.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's definitely better.
Okay.
But I mean, we've always had that advantage over NA, so you know the depth of players compared to
Oh, I'll agree with that.
we've had you've had your Cloud9 and
And yeah.
and
We get it.
Snitch.
No, but I mean, you know.
I don't know
Okay,
what's
fine.
happening.
Snitch is just firing shots. It's okay.
Yeah.
You have to accept that.
The standard.
It's fine. NA has me now, so.
Yeah, shoot. All right, so Gamescom. I'm leading the discussion now. No, I mean, I don't know, like.
No, I mean, let's just talk about the event in general. Like you said, you weren't feeling it going into it. Who were you expecting to be the top dogs? Like, was it Misfits and Fnatic? Are those the only 2 teams you're worried about, or did you have other concerns?
I think going into it, we definitely knew us, Misfits, Fnatic were top 3. We weren't sure of the order, but we were pretty confident we were 3rd. So
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. We just really struggled. Like, we came back after Valencia. We took a bit of a break. We were kind of like, we caught up over BlizzCon. We got some time off. And coming back, I don't know, we hit like a really big wall with Misfits where they were just ruffle stomping us every single block. It was like we woke up to play 3 hours of defeats. it was pretty rough actually. Like, it's really draining to go through that like every day. But we
Yeah.
kind of just had this mentality of, get to the tournament, we play different on the stage. We have the experience or whatever.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, and I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't Cloud9 it this time, but
Yeah, that's good.
one day.
Yeah,
The difference is we actually practiced, so
that's good.
we still had the practice for the stage, just not the complete confidence.
Hmm.
Okay.
You didn't have the 1 hour a day regimen working for you?
But no, 30 minutes and 8 hours of
Oh,
WoW.
yeah,
That's the game plan.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
The dream. So you pretty much expected that basically top 4 in the sense the Dig, Misfits, Fnatic top 4. Was there any surprises in the lower side? Like, did any of the teams that didn't make top 4 surprise you or underwhelm you or anything like that?
Yeah, we thought, what is it, Excelsior Excelente? I don't know, something Spanish that I can't pronounce.
Mhm.
I'm not even going to attempt to again.
Okay.
We thought they would be solid fourth. I think they thought they'd
Mhm.
be solid, like top 4 as well. So I think they were a little disappointed
Yeah.
with their performance. But
Interesting.
players on that team like Zalia and obviously Zarmany's been around for a while. Like,
Yeah.
it was surprising to see them do so poorly. But
Mhm.
I think other teams stepped up as well. Like, I mean, you always have to respect the ADRD wild card. Everybody thinks they can count him out, and then he comes back again.
Hmm.
And I think Jabroni's performed really well. I mean, they actually hadn't really. They kind of were like a last second throw together team that managed to qualify, and then I think they Cloud9'd it, but they actually did pretty well in the event.
I mean, that's
So-
actually kind of funny that, like, in the NA regional, Vox was like an 8th qualifier and they got top 4, and then in this event,
Yeah.
Jabroni's was like a 7th, 8th qualifier and they got top 4 as well.
I mean,
So
I think
maybe,
it might have been an underestimating thing where people
Okay.
didn't, they were like, we didn't think they'd do well, so we didn't give them much respect. But I think they had a
Yeah.
really good showing. Like, they took a game off us as well,
Mhm.
which I'm pretty sure was the game we accidentally gave up a keep. So maybe not the best game to look at, but still,
accidentally gave up a keep. Like, oh, oops.
To the
This
catapult.
keep.
happened, no,
Keep
genuinely. We traded
Where's the gun,
bosses,
boys?
and we were like, we'll push mid, and then it was like, your keep's been destroyed. We were like, oh! Apparently there was like 3 waves that we just completely
Yeah.
ignored, so we lost the keep.
Accidentally a keep, boys.
I mean, yeah, just
That's
accidentally a
impressive.
keep.
Yeah.
But we got mid 4, so I would call worth. And then we still almost won the game, kind of. But, yeah, I mean, I think the only sad part of the event for me was Misfits, which I think what they had to go through on the last day and
Well,
not
just
succeed.
the gauntlet, right? Like game
Yeah.
5.
13 games straight or something, right?
Yeah, it was 13
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I personally was on that stage after they lost, and it was really hard for like me to. I was like finding myself getting sad as well. Like, I love all of those guys, and it's really. I know there has to be a winner at the end of the day, but it was really, really sad to.
It's like one of those
that
wins
goes
where you
through that way.
you genuinely want to see both teams go. You just
Yeah.
like
Truly.
usually you're just like, it's like, okay, they deserve the win, but it's like, whoa, they both teams played so well. It's like, we'd like to see them both advance. Like,
Yeah.
I think everyone felt that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I'll forget like the looks on their faces after that 13th game, but it was a really, really rough thing. And if there's something that could be improved, I wish they'd set it up better. I think the plan wasn't to play it like it was, but it kind of ended up working out that way. I think that was really sad because I think a series where both teams were fresher would have been a lot more interesting to watch. I'm not trying to take anything away from Fnatic at all. I think Fnatic
they
completely deserved to
They
go.
played great.
I
Yeah.
think they played a great tournament, yeah. But it was really, really, it was honestly quite hard to see that. At least for me.
Yeah.
No,
Tiebreaker game was really heartbreaking. Like, being on that stage for that long is just insanely draining.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really appreciate it unless you've been there. Like, it's insane. Even like 2 best of 5s back to back, so I can't even imagine what that extra best of 3, what they must have gone through, especially going to 5 both sets and then
Yeah,
going to
both
3 is
sets,
just
yeah.
like insane.
And I think initially that last match, I think they were like hoping to make it a best of 5, just like for like the,
Yeah.
because everything else is a best of 5.
Yeah.
But can you imagine them having to play in a best of 5? If like I'm
Yeah.
really glad they made it a best of 3 and they made that call before it happened, obviously. But yeah, it's exhausting. But Fnatic, yeah, that's a huge win for them. So they're going to be going to BlizzCon. A huge congratulations to those guys. Going to be looking to represent Europe the best they can. Obviously, it's this. I mean, Europe has raised their level a lot, as we can see. Like it's very even. The teams looked good. We saw so many good matches at Gamescom throughout the weekend, and or I guess it was during the week. Throughout the week, it's weird. But let's talk about like the meta, because we're still seeing like I mean, obviously we were talking about Greymane, not being as prominent because of picks like Arthas, but Arthas is like. Who plays Arthas in NA? There's one team that plays Arthas.
Yeah, Arthas
Is it
isn't
Murlocs?
valued.
Oh, I hope it's Murlocs now.
I think they played him twice at Burbank.
Yeah, there have been a few teams that just like whip it out in like that 5th flex slot kind of thing, but NA don't value it, and I don't value it either.
I mean, I
Like,
think
Well, if Arthas is about it, guys,
okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
have to go.
I don't-
Like,
I-
let's be honest here.
We don't value Arthas or your European opinion, snitch.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I just don't value Arthas as highly as EU. Then I'll say that.
yeah, that's for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
NA's always been wrong about the meta. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see it happen again.
I mean,
So,
who won BlizzCon last year? Snitch.
I mean,
Snitch.
who brings up results of tournaments still a year ago because it's the only thing they'll ever have ever? Oh, that's NA.
Hey,
Who's sat here right now, dismally looking at his region as he's retired to a caster position, and he just looks on, crying like he has a permanent Bible thumb, and as he just watches his region go up in flames.
Yeah,
That's
like-
Dunk Chain, okay? And it's wrong.
Now I'm just an EU shill. I'm like, oh man, that Dignitas team was so cool, guys. I'm rooting for them.
I'm rooting for them as well. So
Yeah.
we have that in common.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone has
Well,
to.
I don't know. I think Arthur's kind of evolved. I think it's a big part of just our meta in general. And, the whole, we have 2 really good warrior players. So it's just kind of something we pushed ourselves into doing. But I don't know. I think it's really undervalued. Like, I don't see why other regions don't pick it. But maybe it's something you can't really feel until you kind of play into it. Like, I know we had a similar thing with Korea. Like, last year, they would have really high carry prioritization, and it was tough to feel what it felt like to have your range squeezed from you, like the picks you could have until it happened to you. So
Yeah.
it could be a case of it, or maybe we just over prioritize it. Like, I don't know. I know like a lot of Tychus was getting a lot of early picks, which I think is a direct impact of that. Like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, for example, things like Tychus,
Yes.
the high Tychus priority is poor, but
Yeah, because again, don't you guys like value Leoric highly as well to stop this kind of like Arthas double tank kind of situation going on as well? And like the early Arthas pick kind of just throw other picks in there like the Tychus and like the Leoric.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our meta's shaped around countering our own meta. So a lot of it, it's tough to say if it's actually really good or if it's just good because what the things we
Because
pick
it's
into it.
your meta, yeah.
right.
Yeah, but
That's
I
how
think
it works.
Arthas is really good, and I don't think that should change across regions. So I think it's honestly just undervaluing. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's going to be the opposite way from NA or whatever. But
Yeah, because we see you guys like first rotating it
Yeah,
in some matches.
yeah.
It's
They
pretty
were getting
insane.
like Silver Arthas in the 1-2 slot in the second
Mhm.
pick, and it's
yeah, that
kind
happened
of
a lot.
weird. Like I feel like in that 1-2 slot, if you're getting a tank, I know certainly in NA we go for like someone who
Honestly-
can just fill that solo tank role, like the ETC if you can, or
Yeah, I
someone
wanna
like
say,
a Tyrael arguably as well. Go on,
Well,
is
that's
this
a
a
big
beam?
part of it. I think Arthas specifically is really good into ETC. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you commit into an Arthas with ETC or whatever, it's really hard to.
Yeah.
It's tough to go into
get
an
the
Arthas,
ETC
and
value.
then if you don't get the kill, you're done for. Like, he just slows ETC out, and you just punish him
That's
really,
fair.
really hard.
Yeah.
So, like, picking him early denies a lot of things like that. But I think the Arthas Sylvanas example specifically was mainly shrines, which I think is a bit of
Yeah.
a different case because I think Arthas gets a lot of value on
Yeah, he
Infernal
has shrine
Shrines,
control.
like,
Yeah,
during
definitely.
the objective.
Yeah.
And Sylvanas
Yeah.
is a similar thing. So if you pick the Arthas Sylvanas, especially with things like Kerrigan Band, it's tough to pick something
Yeah.
that could duel the Arthas unless you have like a Leoric. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty specific example. But
It's fair.
Well, just to look at some of the drafts here to give you guys an idea of what EU looks like, they do in fact play Lost Vikings. Wow, a hero that is just about extinct in NA, and I don't agree with it. I think Vikings is very good. Tychus priority, we were just talking about that. It's a little weird. I mean, Tychus does do a ton of damage. Like, he's great against tanks, but he still has his issues. There's a lot of counters for him for sure. Dibbles trickling in. The Butcher play in the finals, that Game 5 Butcher play. What are your thoughts on that, Snitch?
The Butcher play? Oh, the 5th game specifically?
On Black
or
Hearts. Just let's talk about that. This is it. This is the grand finals for first place of this tournament to guarantee themselves to go into BlizzCon, and they take a risky play by picking up the Butcher to try to go for this. Maybe it's almost like akin to what we saw Navi do at Prague last year with Butcher Kerrigan on BOE, but instead it's Butcher Greymane with Tyrell Saint to give you that really hard engage. But Blackheart seems like a weird map to do that.
I don't know. I don't think Butcher was the plan, at least not, with the Greymane. I think Butcher might have been the plan, but I don't think the Greymane was the plan at all. I think we just kind of, all the other melee assassins got taken out of the draft. I think maybe they wanted to emulate something similar to the Navi thing, like a callback, and you play that same sort of style, the hard dive with Tyrael, the double melee assassin or something. But when we banned the Kerrigan second rotation, I think, which was a big part of that draft, and I think they kind of pigeonholed themselves straight into that draft as soon as they went to Valis Uther. So as soon as we banned the Kerrigan, I think when they were forced to go to the Greymane, it was a lot more clunky. But even still, I don't know, it's tough to call for that game because I think we won mainly off an early snowball. If I remember correctly, we get 2 kills bot, and then we just kind of have a huge coin advantage, and then it's hard for them to come back at all because we always have a 2-level lead, so we just wait for the next talent advantage and just slow pay until we win the game. So I don't know, maybe in an even fight that comp still could have done a lot, but I agree it's kind of a really all-in draft, and I think maybe it's kind of a fatigue thing, but I don't think it's fair to say that. I think maybe 2 best of 5s is okay to play, so I think all in all it's just kind of a strategy they had, and it happened to be a map where they thought they could pull it out and it just didn't happen to work on the stage. I know Misfits had a lot of success, not just from us in scrims in general. So it's possible they have a few strats where it works against a good team once, and they're okay, we can save this, and then in the moment it just didn't work out. But like I said, I think that game was a lot about the early advantage.
Any thoughts on that, Duncan Haas?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
No, it's
never seen a
Fresh
Butcher.
meat.
Yeah, never seen a Butcher in NA.
no, not a long time.
Never played against it. Never played with it. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Butcher at BlizzCon.
This is NA.
Yeah. NA never seen.
But yeah, I mean, if it's a pocket pick, then yeah, fair. I mean, they tried it when you're in that final 5th game and you've played 4 previously standard and you're at 2-2. You need something maybe to surprise, and they thought it was worth taking the risk and just didn't pay off, I guess. But
do you think Butcher has a place in the meta at all?
We messed around with it in some Team League games once. We had a amazing VP into 5-man Silence of the Lambs, but that's about it.
And you only need 20 levels for that great combo.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Draft your Butcher today.
Yeah.
It's like Auriel Sonya. Let's go.
It's exactly the same, actually. I would say Butcher Zeratul and Auriel Sonya are exactly the same.
There we go. I'm glad we can agree. Snitch.
Okay. At least Auriel Sonya doesn't need the opponent to clump for a 5-man VP to be good. So they're not
That's the only difference, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the only difference.
I gotta say that looked good though. When JPL was on the Zera and you guys were getting those VP rings, that was sexy. It was fun to watch. But there's mega clumping happening to enable that to get the value it was getting.
Yeah. I think I think honestly Jay is just really good at it. I don't think I remember we actually talked to, I think it was Alia specifically actually, after that game we played against Fnatic where we played that combo against them, and we were just constantly finding Kael'thas Monk or something. But I think it's really hard to actually, I think it's easy to look at it and be like, oh, you just shouldn't have clumped. But I think it's really hard to constantly be split and to constantly have all your carries. It's just about finding that 1 second where Zeratul sees it and he blinks it and gets it. And I think Jay is really, really good at that.
He was getting it so that the ring would be perfectly positioned to hit 3 people. It's not even you can hit a big VP, but the ring is it's a ring. It's not a full circle, right? You need to be able to hit them in a very specific manner. And I don't know, he's just got these donuts in his brain where he can position it on the map and see it happen constantly.
Jay and Mene have really, really good synergy with that, and I think it's a big part of why we started playing it again, especially when
Big
we
part of
felt
why you
like
guys won the tournament. I think it was just
yeah.
owning people seriously. Like there were games that just won from that.
Yeah.
So
I think it's really easy to look at it and be like, well, just don't clump. But I think it just has so much pressure on you, and especially when you're on stage as well, just that pressure of if we make that one mistake, we screw up. Like it's so hard to like
it's true.
walk into it. It's so hard to like push into it. It's so hard to just like position around objective into it. Like I think it just adds a lot of pressure, and
Well, there was.
I think
Go ahead.
having that available
Yeah.
is really
It's
good.
like old chain bomb in that sense, where like it's just something that you like have to think of 24/7, and that's really taxing at that level. Is like having an extra variable that you have to constantly be evaluating. Like every time you go to move somewhere, okay, are we in a position where we lose to VP ring? Okay, are we in a position where we lose to VP ring? Every time you walk through a choke, you have to think about that. And like sometimes you're gonna mess up because there's so much going on.
It's and then there was one game where you guys were just owning, and the VP didn't get dropped in one fight, and it just you almost lost the game because of it. Like I think it was like you guys were pushing bottom keep or something like that, and Jay was being pressured, had to blink out or something, missed the drop on the VP, and Ring just whiffed entirely. So I mean that's a testament to how much pressure there is to actually make it work, because when you expend that much of a resource to do a combo and you do nothing, like if it's tough. It's a risk reward kind of deal, but really cool. I mean,
Yeah, I do think that's the one downside to it, is that it's so ult focused that it's hard to team fight when you don't have it unless you're far enough ahead. But other than that, I think it's really solid. Like I think it's also when we brought I think Jaina started creeping back into the meta. Like after we were playing, I forgot to bring it up earlier, but it was actually relevant to the whole patch thing. But there was a small period where we weren't able to play on the patch we would at Gamescom. We had to scrim on the newest patch instead.
Oh,
So we had
really?
like 5 days or something. Yeah, I think that's part of why Blizzard changed it this time. So NA is forced to play on the new patch, because otherwise they have to play like 8 days of no scrims basically, or scrims that aren't valuable.
That's amazing.
But we had that for Gamescom, where we had to play 5 days of the newest patch, where Kel'Thas was just completely gutted. So during that time, teams were playing a lot of Jaina back and forth, and I think we kind of got the idea to bring it back, because during tours, actually, the worst tournament of my life, the only thing we could play during that tournament was Diablo, Zerot, or Jaina. So we were already kind of proficient at it, and we already had the synergy down, so we just started bringing it back again. And I think as long as Jade is still, she feels like she's pretty good now, I think it's fine to be able to play if you can play it.
I think she fits well into double tank too. Like she crushes Arthas. She's good against Sonya. So like in a lot of the double tank comps, I feel like she has value.
Just any heavy melee, Jaina's just so good at.
Yep.
Like she just punishes it so hard.
Well, yeah, it's definitely good that they're doing that. We'll talk a little bit more about the fact that that's going to be part of PAX when we get to our PAX discussion. But I do want to keep kind of like hammering away at some of these questions I basically have, and for you guys' opinions on some of the comparisons, because like if we look back to Burbank, which was a different patch, slightly. Yeah, it was one patch back. There's so many patches, it's hard to be accurate on that all the time. ETC was like so highly prioritized for the Warriors, like just like ETC, so many teams are just like that's the tank over Muradin, you name it. But then we go to Europe and it's like Arthas, Leorix, a little bit of Stitches here and there, but a lot of Muradin as well. Dignitas in particular, you guys had played a ton of Muradin, I believe, and of course Tyrael is super prominent. But like ETC got very little play, especially when we got towards the latter end of the event. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, it's a pretty big disparity, actually.
I think talk about you go again.
You can go. That's fine. It was your region not picking ETC, so I mean,
I think like I said earlier, it's just a lot about ETC into Arthas, ETC into Arthas, ETC into Jaina, ETC into Tychus. All of these are super punishing. Like you get in a position where you have to get the power slide that wins the fight, or you just get screwed. Like you lose all of your health, or you die because you can't get out. Like he's so, especially when he's solo tank, it's very do or die with ETC, and I feel like a lot of teams don't like that. Especially like into the meta that we have right now. So
yeah, I was gonna say like I think ETC NA was like really highly valuing the solo tank potential, and since EU was all about double tank, like ETC is really one of the heroes that needs basically a target you can slide in and get the pick off to start the fight, or else he's not good enough. And if you're running double tank, like if you're running Arthas Leoric, ETC is not going to slide on those and get the kills a lot of the time, unless you just have absurd damage dealers or something. So like ETC Toronto gets way less value. Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense actually that EU didn't value him in the patch or meta or whatever, where they're playing double tank a lot, big frontline bruisers who can pressure ETC while ETC doesn't offer enough kill pressure on them.
I think the other factor is about the Kael'thas nerfs as well. Like, I think while Kael'thas was still strong, we played a lot of ETC as a region, especially we specifically played a lot of ETC, because ETC Kael'thas was like, you slid, you stun, they blow up. Like, that was it. Let ETC do his thing. Like, he was really free because he has so much space with the Kael'thas follow-up. But I think with Kael'thas, especially this patch, like last patch, we were still experimenting with it a little. We played it a little bit. I think we might have played it once, either Midden Kael or ETC Kael during Gamescom. But I think it's just so hard for ETC to just go in, and especially like I said with the picks that we have, it's just so hard for him to just go in and forget about it. Like, he really needs a comp around him, I think, to be successsual.
You guys did the Kerrigan Kael'thas at Gamescom, one game, I believe. But I think you had Murden also. But the other things I wanted to ask you about Snitch was you played Sylve. Is she just a god now? I mean, you run her a lot. She's seeing a lot of play everywhere, really. But you think she's
I don't really know what happened. Like, we didn't think Sylvanas was that good, and then teams became a lot better at just grouping. Like, the first shrine, you just instantly group as 5. And there wasn't something that we really did in Europe. We always used to do this meta where we have one person soak and forward go to the shrine, but then everybody started picking Sylvanas, running to the shrine straight away as 5. Like, you lose like half a level, and then you get the Punisher, and you get the fort and the Keeper. And it's like, well, that's the game over. And it was the same thing for Battlefield, where, you get the first Immortal, you have Sylvanas, game's over. Like, just like pressure picks like that make people make mistakes, I think. Like, you feel like you have to win the early game against the Sylvanas, or it's just like, it's done. Like,
yeah, she's like the hardest snowballer in the game.
Yeah, and I think especially with the dagger talents on 4 and 16, she still does a lot of damage. Like, if you don't have Rhaegar, she hurts. Like, or Monk.
The dagger talent on 16, you guys still take the Mark talent a lot on the first target?
I think some people are taking slow, but I don't really get that talent.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of diversity actually.
The Mark is the best. I know. I play Mark every game. Like, I think Mark's always the best.
Yeah. Do your Janas also always play Mark, or do they sometimes take Root?
No, they always play Mark as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen
Which I think
in a long time.
might be bugged. I haven't looked into that still, but I think there's some sort of weird bug with the double Mark there. I'm not sure.
Oh,
you think it's stacking?
I see.
I think it might be. We're not sure, but
it's looked weird a couple times.
I feel like we've had a few people been like I know multiple times we've been like, that was a lot of damage. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I need to look into that, but I think I think she's not bad. I think people got a lot better at playing her aggressively. I think if you can use Haunting Wave properly and kind of like jumping into different positions to punish people who are too deep, like, I think they just got a lot better at playing with her and a lot better at knowing how to use her well in Europe, especially Misfits were a big pioneers. I think they had a period where they were pretty much only playing Sylvanas Tychus every game, and they had a lot of strength with Sylvanas. So yeah, I think she's good right now. Yeah. I think she'll, unless she sees changes, I think she'll still be good at BlizzCon. So
cool. That's good to hear. Obviously, Sylva's risen up, so I've Snitch playing her a lot. Any other heroes that stood out to you, Haas and Dunk, that were not played as much as you might have thought, or played more than you expected?
Trying to think back.
Looking at the list of heroes that got played, I mean, Zul he saw one game, I think, or 2 games at the event, which is a little surprising. He didn't even see bans. I'm kind of curious, why doesn't EU value him at all, even on like small maps or rotation maps or whatever?
I don't know. J-How loves to quote me telling him that I think Zul is ass, and I still think Zul is ass. Yeah. And then they love to throw my win rate in my face as if that's why I think Zul is ass, because I can't win games with him or something.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think Zul's really awkward because he's really good at the early game, and then he's really bad at doing anything that isn't the early game. Like, his team fight performance is so poor that sometimes it literally just feels like he walks up, he like throws mages or poison over, and then he literally just stands there and waits to either win the fight or die. Like,
Yeah.
I agree. We as a team don't value Zor at all. We'll happily let other teams pick it. We think that, as Snitch said, like his early game is where he shines, and we think we have, or at least had one of the better early games out of the teams we were playing against. So we thought that we could just give the Zor up and just play around it and play out until the late game and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did used to have really high Zul priority. There was a period in time when we were running Zul a lot. And I remember we had a lot of scrims where I would play Zul, and we used to have a lot of strategies where, you'd split him to top lane and everybody rotates bot and stuff like that. And he gave you a lot of flexibility in the early game, but we just ended up like, it's not worth it. Your team fight's so weak.
We also only saw 3 Medivh games, and they were all by to be determined.
I don't know if that's surprising though. We were talking about that, like, with the NA scene, there's so few teams that are like comfortable with even executing Medivh, and even then, it's pretty specific seeming as to like which scenarios it's going to work. I mean, we saw it in the qualifiers. For the last regional dunk, and it was it was the
that's
anti-burst,
quite a while
right?
ago now.
Right, but still, it was like the scenarios in which we saw it was versus burst, right? If they're worried about a lot of burst. And we're seeing, like, with Lunara being prominent right now, and like Sylvanas, they're not as bursty, these heroes that we're seeing that are seeing a lot of play. And even if Greymane's falling off in Europe, I mean, that's another burst hero that's seeing a little bit less play.
What about? Oh, gone.
I was going to say, I think every tournament we keep saying we're going to be able to play Medivh, and then we never practice him. So it's pretty unfortunate. Like, I don't actually think I'm that bad at Medivh, and I know Shrimpy as well. We both have a really, really, we would kind of love Medivh. Like, we love the flexibility he provides. He could do so many things. Like, he's a really cool hero to play with if you could play well with him. But then neither of our teams bother, so maybe BlizzCon will be the event where me and Shrimpy just dominate with Medivh. So let's hope.
I was just going to ask about EU's thoughts on Thrall right now.
It's weird because he kind of just dies the double front line. Like, I think there was a few games he saw play, and Misfits.
That was like a real small handful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we definitely played some Thrall still going into the event, and I think when he doesn't have to like walk through Arthas, when he's not, I think even like he's got a bad matchup against Kerrigan as well. I think his matchup against Sonya is not great. Like past the early game, like. I just think, especially since the Sundering nerfs, he doesn't bring enough nowadays that people want him a lot. Like, there's some situations where you want him. Like, I think we saw Misfits take him when they did a Stitches follow-up on Cursed once, and he was getting a lot of value with Sundering, but he was like, they would do hook route. Like, I think he's okay, but I think it's just kind of like, he passed his time, I think, honestly.
I was going to say, like...
He's an old orc now.
Yeah,
so gray and feeble.
Yeah,
we don't really have the struggle of the Arthas right now, so I guess we have more freedom with that pick, but I can definitely see why.
He just needs Bloodlust, and then he's good.
Again,
that definitely happened once.
I've actually picked Bloodlust recently in some of the amateur tournaments when we play like Gul'dan, Cho'Gall. It's pretty fun.
I don't know. I know a few teams.
Bloodlust? What?
A few teams we played against were running Bloodlust.
Shot plays Rain.
What?
Yeah.
Alright, even I can't accept that.
It's a fun fact, by the way. Did you know Falling Sword? I think I've only seen it once because there's the only time someone took Bloodlust.
It goes
but I'm pretty
Bloodlust?
sure. No, it gets bigger.
Speed.
I'm pretty sure the circle actually gets bigger if Joanna's Bloodlusted. So that's a fun fact for everyone. I'm pretty sure it's based on her size.
Her model. Yeah, her model.
Yeah. So because her model gets bigger, skill effect is actually larger.
That would actually be really, really funny if that's how that works.
I'm pretty sure it happened.
Let's
go. I was like, that Joanna Falling Sword is really big. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Right, what a big falling sword you have there. Is it
bloodlusted?
bloodlusted?
I was like, is that a Rhaegar behind you? I mean, I don't know.
All right, well,
that's Falling Sword. Coming to a BlizzCon near you.
My regular.
Coming to a PAX near you. I'll chalk it up.
I'm doing
Game one, boys. Just bring it out.
Yeah.
Win the crowd, not the game.
First pick, Joanna Rhaegar. Huh?
Just NA things. Let's go.
It'll happen. Don't worry.
I don't think so.
I'll make you proud, Jake. I'll make you proud.
It will happen, but it won't be good.
I feel like Bloodlust has been picked, I don't know, like 12 or at least 12 times in the last few
That
months.
was
And
12 times too many.
I've never once been commentating. It just it just hurts me. Like every time it's played, like on a major stage, and I'm not casting, I die a little bit inside.
I was going to say, like, keep a night aside. Just come and cast one of our games in a Hush United tournament, like on a Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown or a Next Verse on a Friday. We'll pick it for you. You can go home happy. It's fine.
I mean, that's orchestrated, right? There's a player Skype group. It's got every player in the scene. Korea, China, NA. We're all in there. And, someone
Is
goes,
Jake at
Rhaegar
this
picked.
tournament?
And then someone goes, is Jake casting? It's a yes or no. And then we're like, all right, no Bloodlust, boys. Not this game.
Feels
Jake's
bad.
Hans is
casting this one.
scripted. Hans is scripted. 323. Illuminati.
I've just leaked it.
Yeah,
Feels
GG.
bad.
Shut everything down.
Mhm.
The Jake chat is public.
Burn the Skype group. Burn the Skype group. Get rid of the logs.
Feels bad, man. I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep now. You have no idea how sad this makes me. You guys think I'm kidding. I'm actually just devastated. This is the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, it must be rough, actually. Yeah, MVP back in there, like, we picked Rhaegar.
We went
Here we go,
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust. Jake's watching. Don't do it.
So stream. Speaking of Bloodlust, while we're there, we can get some updates. We're at $6,042.
That was
That's a
smooth
segue. That is
was
a segue.
And since I've gotten so many tweets, and there's only one really easy way to do it, considering I have a million other things to worry about. I have submitted, it's not available yet, but I have submitted a campaign on Teespring for this. So a lot of people like the logo. We're going to do a Teespring campaign. If you really want the shirt, that money helps us with our production. Like right now, Dunk Train's going to be sleeping on I've got
just going to be sleeping on those for the rest of my life.
Actually,
I thought you could just use your beard as a cushion.
could.
It actually gets upset if you
He
do
just like
that.
fetal positions on his own beard. Like, how does that even work?
No, it just extends down.
It's a better blanket
Grows
than a
on
pillow. to be
command.
honest. Yeah, better blanket.
well, that money would go towards basically hotel rooms for the casters coming out, because I do have a guest room with there's two little IKEA beds. One of them has a Frozen bed sheets, and the other one has Star Wars bed sheets. So
Dibs on the frozen bed sheets.
I don't know. Zoya's gonna want that one. I'm pretty sure. You guys are gonna
I'll
have to
fight him to the death, dude.
Yeah,
He doesn't know.
You should see him here. I want to build a snowman or whatever it's called.
We can just share. It's fine.
Just get cozy.
It's the only way to do it, man. So that's not available yet.
I hope you're all wearing those during the cast, though. Like, that's
Yeah.
really important to me.
Yeah,
like that you're
you're
all
just
wearing those.
They won't
everyone.
actually be printed by then, I don't think, unfortunately.
Jake, you're all going to be wearing those
I-
for the tournament,
Snitch,
right?
Snitch. I was gonna say just wrap themselves in the Frozen like duvet quilt cover blanket thing.
That's a
Well,
close
they're all-
second.
no.
I'll
Yeah, that
accept
is-
that.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting Bloodlust shirts. Like, I'm warning you now. I will have a
right.
hissy fit on Twitter.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Just for you, Snitch.
I will
Just for
have a
you.
temper
Just for you.
tantrum.
And just a reminder, some of our good friends at Matcherino in the chat are saying be sure to use the code Bloodlust on Matcherino at the Bloodlust page to add $1 for free to the prize pool. I mean, a lot of people have already done it, but I think there's still a good number of those vouchers or coupons or whatever we want to consider them available. So, but thank you guys so much for 60-42. It's really awesome. Bloodlust going away. But let's switch over to North America Speak. So,
Woo.
NA, we now have our 8 teams going to PAX. Haas, how does it feel to finally go to to finally be esports enough to go to a real event?
How does it feel to be a real
I've
boy?
I've been to real events before.
No,
Hello.
no.
Just never heroes.
Yeah,
Honestly,
we're
USA
talking
made Haas
about you're talking about Brexit world. Those events don't count.
Well, I remember when Harsh used to go to small UK lands and
Yeah,
lose to
Epic
me
Land.
in
Yeah.
the tournament.
Yeah,
but
let's go.
look at him
What was
now.
that,
He's moved to
I-52
America,
Snitch? Was it
and he's a
I-52?
rising star, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only been to like one, so it's probably that one. But now he's a rising star.
Yeah.
America showed him how to be free, and that's inspiring for me.
I took the dunk route but reversed it. I started off as a caster and then like came into playing. But it actually feels like really, really good. So last Wednesday we played against Vox. We didn't actually think that we'd be able to qualify until we played that series on Thursday night against Vox, where like we lost our map pick on Shrines, and then we played them on Tomb. We knew they were picking Tomb 100%. They only ever play Tomb. We had like a 40-minute slugfest against them, essentially, where we were always ahead, but we just always just wanted to play super, super safe and just secure the win. And then going into the game 3 there, we just screwed up. Like, I don't know what happened. We made a call. It literally lost the game, but it's fine. We bounced back. And then when we saw the bracket for Sunday saying that we were against Vox again, we knew that we had like 70% chance, I'd say, to make it to PAX.
Wow, that confident, huh?
We knew exactly how they would draft. They didn't change their draft up at all. We didn't actually really scrim either between Thursday and Sunday. We had one block of scrims, and I'm just going to give a shout out now to Nespa, Ethics, Homicidal, all those guys, Talion and Talers, I think it is, for scrimming with us, because they're the only team that actually would, and they definitely helped us out a lot. We helped them out as well because they were playing. They played Vox in the round before us. So before the tournament, we did like 2 or 3 games of just Tomb because we both know Vox play Tomb. And yeah, so we didn't really actually have too much practice coming into it. We just looked at drafts. We did a lot of like mock drafts, looking at how they'd draft and how we could get what we wanted. We looked at the theoretical side more than the actual practice. And it was exactly what we expected. They picked Tomb as we wanted them to. We turned a 40-minute game from Thursday into, I think, like a 22-minute game on Sunday. And then, yeah, and the first game was Tomb. We knew we had it. The second game then became Shrines, which is our map pick. We were really good at Shrines, and then I don't know what happened. We haven't won a game on Shrines in a long time now. And then they took us to Towers, which we've never really played Towers. But game 2 was really shaky because we lost the early game, and like I think we all just felt like a lot of pressure on us there. And then for the third game, we were like just a lot more relaxed. And then we got the early lead. We killed Daihu at like 2 minutes 30 in on rotation, and we know that Daihu's a very emotional player. So we knew that from then on out, it would be a little bit easier.
Damn,
and then
you were just like, yo, we got in his head. That was our strat.
I mean, we know that like everyone can say that Vox are an aggressive early game team. They try and get ahead early. It's the same on Tomb. Like they were aggro. One of the big picks as well came from like McIntyre going for a weird Sylvanas W that just put him into the middle of our team, and we just killed him and then started snowballing from there. We also had a really risky boss call that somehow works out. Trixler highlighted it on the Blizz Heroes Twitter. But yeah, that third game, like it was on Towers, so you can directly see like the lead and how it's going. And it's like in my head, we got to like they had 20 shots, we had like 32, and I was like, we're halfway to PAX. Like this is happening. And then the last fight down bot, there was like 7 shots left. We were fighting over bot shrine, bot altar, whatever it is, and yeah, it just happened. We somehow won that fight. And then got the shrine, just called boss straight away, took boss safely with just Lunara up.
Oh yeah, that was freezy peasy.
And that was it. We were going to PAX.
I gotta say, I both love and hate that feeling of we've won this game if we don't do anything wrong. Like,
yeah. Like,
it's
like
both good and so bad.
They have 20 shots left. We're halfway there. We just need to not screw up and we're good. It was the same as like our Tomb game against them as well on both occasions. Like, we punished their early game. We just got ahead, and we did our best to throw at that boss call. Like it was a 9-minute boss or something if you've seen it. But Insight Monk is stupidly strong.
I'm glad that we see more of that.
Yeah, when your W's on a when there's 2-second intervals between every single heal you have, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's a cool change.
Yeah.
Well, once again, congrats on that. Just going through the full list here of everyone who's going to be going to PAX to play for that final shot for the North America representative at BlizzCon, the World Finals. $1 million prize pool to boot there. Twitch, that means you get guaranteed money because you're first seed, right? And that's a good feeling, huh? At BlizzCon, you already got another paycheck on the way.
I mean,
It's just another day at the office. For
Yeah, I
Snitch.
mean, just what I'm about. Like, no, I mean, feels good, and it's double what it was before.
You just cared about money. That's what Jay said.
That's Jay that just cares about money.
Jay, okay.
I want to win and do well. I want to perform for my region. And Jay's like, just give me the cash.
I respect that. That's the esports stream. Murloc Genius says Gale Force Esports, Naventic, Denial, Astral, and then why are these all TBD? It's Vox did not. It's you guys defeated Vox. TNC defeated Astral.
And then Shrey's team, Shrey, Kona Fey, Dumpster Tier.
Dumpster Tier. They don't have their name in here. Man, Liquipedia. Dropping the
I know.
ball on me. This is.
I just want a Wikipedia page so I can feel important. Is that too much to ask?
No, yeah, that's too much to ask.
It probably is.
Is Bloodlust on Liquipedia? Nope, dead to me.
It's just
Worst
uninstall website.
But no, it should be a fun event. I think groups get announced late this week. Not too sure, but there could be potential for like a group of death. Because you could have like Murlocs, Naventic. I'd go and say the Dumpster Tier are probably slightly better than Astral. Like so, Murlocs, Dumpster Tier, Naventic, and then for argument's sake, I'm just going to say TNC because I don't want to be in that group. But that could happen, and that could be extremely scary for anyone in it.
I'm just trying to think of like what might have changed from them there. I'm personally really interested to see. Well, you guys are like the wild card because it's like your first land, so you guys are just a mega wild card. Denial just came off an abysmal performance where they're all super seasoned. They brought back iDream, which means good things in theory, because he's always been talented, but still he's explosive. But my big interest with them is like they obviously watch Europe. Are they going to try to replicate the Jaina with the Zera,
the Arthas,
right?
Or just the
Arthas
well.
too. But like you think of Glau on Zera, and you think of Jaina with K1, like that sounds really good for them as like if they can draft that. So that's going to be interesting to see how they've adjusted. Are they going to play only ETC? We'll see.
I'll get upset. I'll do it. I'll stray on Twitter. I'll be like, what are these NA teams drafting? I don't know what he said. He said something about Everton or something. I don't know.
But yeah.
He was on Vox, right?
Who, Shrey?
Yeah.
No, Dumpster.
No, I think.
Dumpster.
Are you talking about Daihu?
I don't know.
Daihu might have tweeted that.
I don't know. No, it's definitely Shrey, but I can't remember what Shrey, who Shrey's playing
He's
for
on
now.
Dumpster Tier.
He's in Dumpster Tier rejects, or failures, or superstars. It might be superstars.
It was failures, but
no, it's superstars.
I'll cry on Twitter about NA meta or something. It seems to be the thing to do nowadays.
So
I mean, I'm personally excited for GFE. I hope this is the dream Fan roster.
Yeah.
I love Fan. He's a great guy. I hope this is the one where he shines. No offense to Naventic. They had their ups and downs. Like there were moments they looked really good. There were times when McIntyre's on Malfurion. Like I hope this is the roster where Fan finds its place.
If we have a scaler of heroes teams performances, like if McIntyre Malfurion is the bottom, like what's the number one like perfect performance ever seen in Heroes?
It's probably like MVP Sylvanas, where they win Battlefield in like 6 minutes. So it's like McIntyre Malfurion to Sylvanas on Battlefield by MVP. That's like the heroes scale. Poor Mac, dude. I hate how he gets flack for that because I'm sure it wasn't his fault. But
wrecked.
That's probably the lowest.
Wrecked. Like you're kicking someone while he's down. Mac went from going to Korea to Sweden.
I feel so bad, dude. I love Mac as well. Like it's gonna be a shame not seeing Mac though, because I love hanging out with him.
Technically, he could still get there if he got with a roster swap. Technically.
Yeah, he's the only one who ever brings magic attacks. So like, I always play magic at lands, and now I'll have to bring the decks and find someone to play with.
I'll play the decks. I haven't played in 12 years, but I'll bring the decks.
Yeah,
I'll bring.
12... Oh, you bring the decks, Jake.
Yeah, I'll
bring
it.
The decks.
I have like one. There's dragons in it. I know that.
McIntyre is like definitely a solid player, no doubt. But it's just the teams he's been on just haven't let him shine.
It's been a team problem. I think it's a similar thing with Van.
Like straight up, like when he was on Malfurion, and even with Vox, like just the way we drafted against them, he was never going to be on a playmaker. So he just couldn't be in that prime position where you need McIntyre to shine. Like the Towers game, they had him on Muradin. Like, what's he
I think of him as a very similar player to Darkmark, where Darkmock, if he's on point and he's on a hero that he's really good at, he just dominates the game. Like Darkmock can tear a game apart on his own. And I think Mac has had performances where he's very similar to that. And it's a shame that I don't think he gets to kind of showcase himself.
Yeah.
Well, obviously PAX is going to be chaotic.
Jake, we didn't talk about the patch thing, did we?
Oh,
Like
the patch.
We
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
We talked a tiny bit about it when
Yeah.
Snitch was talking
Yeah.
about not being able to scrim, but we didn't talk about all the drama that was happening. I don't know. Do we care, or did we cover it enough?
I mean,
It seems pretty
I'm okay
torn.
with playing on the new patch.
I mean, to
Mhm.
me, that's Blizzard adapting because we complained a lot
Yeah.
about having to have just this like half a week to like a week of just not being able to play on the patch. Like there's no like tournament realm or whatever, so we were just stuck with nothing to train. Like we just had to train random things because I think Tracer, which was still seeing some play in Europe, and Kael'thas both just got completely like torn apart and just like Kael'thas got completely reworked basically again, and Tracer lost a few key talents, so she played pretty differently. And I don't know, we just had to play like kind of like random scrims for 5 days. Not complete, like we would still play roughly similar drafts, but like I said, Jada got a lot more popular there because Kael'thas kind of got completely removed. So I think it's kind of like them responding to that, where we had a lot of complaints. I think it's better for the teams arguably because they can still train up to the event. Like
I agree
it's
with
an even longer time period for NA. It'd be like it's like 9 days, right, where you'd have to just
Yeah.
not scrim at all. Like I think that's completely unreasonable. So even if it's kind of short on the patch.
I don't even think the patch is like the biggest thing, like because us and TNC have been playing literally up until this point on the previous map previous patch with Auriel banned. Like coming into PAX, it's going to be really interesting to see how Auriel gets picked up in the draft and how much prioritization goes on her, because then we now essentially have to learn how to draft with her because we've had 2 days since we qualified, and like our first block of scrims is tonight, and it's going to be real weird to see how and where she fits in.
Yeah, I mean,
I think-
Go ahead, Dunk.
Okay, I think like given the global circumstances of there's always tournaments happening, like 10 days out or whatever from a tournament is a totally fine place to ban it. And it should have been really obvious that Blizzard intended to nerf Greymane and or Tyrael, given how much
Nerf
they
Tyrael.
see play.
Yeah,
Tyrael, you
Nerf.
say?
I mean, that's why I said Endor. I'm like, nerf
Should have
Tyrael,
been really
guys.
obvious.
Yeah, it
and
should have
then
been obvious.
we didn't do
but
that at all.
Yeah, we all
I
expected
would-
enough.
I would like to see like indications, maybe like a Blizzard post like, hey guys, here's what we're thinking about for the next patch, and just like mention some heroes and some patterns, like what they think. Because like, okay, it's obvious for Greymane and Tyrael, but like the Kael'thas getting like his stuff nerfed to oblivion, like he wasn't that popular in like the games. He wasn't 100% pick rate. He was last picked in a lot of drafts. He made ETC good, like etc. So I would have liked to see some warning like before that tournament, like the EU one, if they wanted to play them on the current patch, so they didn't have to have that gap, like Snitch is saying, you could have been like a week before the actual patch, like, hey guys, we're thinking about nerfing Kael'thas. This is what you can change your practice around, at least to the pro players, if not publicly.
Didn't
You know,
Blizz do that before? They sent out a tweet like about a week or so prior to a patch saying expect changes for XYZ. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I
at least
think they've
once.
done some stuff like that.
Yeah.
A little bit, or like we're looking into or thinking about
Yeah.
a rework for, but it's never like immediate. It feels like it's
Yeah.
always way out, or like we don't really
That's
know.
fair.
You know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I think everyone, even just if you go look at the Reddit thread with the announcement, it's pretty torn. Some players are for it,
It
some
is.
are against it.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, honestly. I mean, not everyone's going to be happy. Some people are going to already have these strats locked in place, or they've nailed it down. Other teams just qualified. So if you look at from the point of view of Haas, who just qualified, they just confirmed they're going. They don't necessarily have any hidden strats, any hidden secrets. The playing field is even for everyone this way. There hasn't been this big advantage window. I mean, it's not like it's a massive patch, but still, that's kind of my point of view of it. And
It's
also
it's
for,
hardly big.
yeah, and for the when you watch a tournament and you have all these people in Twitch chat constantly saying, why is it the other patch? Why are they playing KT or whatever? Because you're confused because KT hasn't been nerfed yet. That creates a disconnection between the viewer and the or like casual viewer in the pro scene, and this remedies that as well. So I think this is kind of a great situation, and I'm all for it. And PAX should be dope. I mean, it should be a really good event.
Should be. I'm just looking forward to meeting everyone finally and hanging out and having a good time.
Sweet City. Well, we are now going to go to the shout-outs. Before I hand it off to you guys, I'm just going to run through it once more. Big, I need to encourage all of you to go to arcane8.com, click the VODs or the YouTube thing on the right, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. We need everyone to do that. It's really important for the channel to be able to just ramp up the way we're hoping it to. And there was one more thing. Oh, and Ting. I just wanted to plug Ting one more time. arcane8.ting.com. If you're looking for it to possibly change your cell phone, get off your plan, whatever, save yourself some money, you could then put that extra money into Bloodlust. Oh, damn. No,
Value.
don't do that. Just save your money. Because seriously, Ting can definitely help. If you're not a power user, if you're on Wi-Fi at work and at home most of the time, it's seriously on average, I think their average monthly bill for their phones is like $25 per device. So that's really good. But anyways, shout outs, boys, to you, Haas.
Just to thank my teammates, Drayden, Heckram J, both go to school here as well at LSU, so we're going to be looking good for Dorm. Shot as well, who's just a solid player all around, and of course FZ Ignition, probably one of the smartest players I've ever played with. So expect some good things coming into PAX. Even if we don't perform too well, we should have a good one. And of course, cheers for having me on the show number 118. And if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, at Hoslot, HOSSELOTE. And yeah, thank you.
Why do the Brexits like double O, double S, they double up the
HOSSELOTE.
I mean, I get it.
I know how
you sound so
my
James
Twitter.
Bondy when you say it.
This is many hours of CS:GO casting plug in here. This is what's happened.
Snitch, before you give shout outs, I need you to open that fridge.
It's all the way over there. I have to show the fridge, apparently.
I need to see
I
it.
keep saying show fridge.
I need to see
shout outs
it.
to my fridge.
Yeah, it's a nice fridge.
For always being behind me in my times of need.
Does it have a
It's always
crown?
been there.
It looks like it's a
It's a picture of me when I was 6 with a Burger King crown on top of it.
Hell yeah.
If you want me to get that down,
yeah.
I'll gladly do that.
Yeah.
Oh no. Straight up a
Wait.
disaster.
A picture of Snitch when he was 6, so a year and a half ago?
Yeah, literally yesterday. So the picture of me yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's got a little Burger King crown on top. So that's just core to my whole. I'm just gonna put that on my bed. Core to my whole living style. So
You wake up every day looking in the thing. I was cute once.
exactly.
Look in the
Once upon a time, I look good.
Yeah.
One day we'll get there again. Just not anytime soon. But shout outs to my fridge. It's always been there for me in my times of need. It's been the light in my darkness. Shout outs to Team Dignitas for always supporting us. Shout outs to my teammates. Somehow we've won 4 titles together. Not sure how that one happened again. But I'm glad that we keep putting in all our work and we keep finding success. Shout out to all the family and friends who keep supporting me. I know I've had to reach out to a few people recently because, like I said, it wasn't going so well. It's been a little bit tough, but there's always been people behind me, and I'll never forget that. So shout outs to all of you, and shout outs to Jake and Dunk for bringing me on the show again.
You forgot one shout out.
Who did I forget?
At Muppet EU.
Oh, yeah. Shout outs to Muppet for existing.
Yeah.
Lovely.
He does that pretty well. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well,
That
thank you
is about
guys
it.
so much for coming on. Dunkus, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Take it away. Where am I taking it to, Jake?
Take me away.
So I don't know. Shout outs to
Cats.
these guys for being on, and I don't know, my Wi-Fi router that's over there that you can see. It's always been there for me. It's really not.
Picture of
It's
you being
really
young with a
not.
Burger King
Yeah.
crown, is it? Honestly?
It isn't. I wish it was though. But yeah, no. Thanks guys for watching, and if you want to catch me on Twitter for who knows what possible reason, you can catch me on @DunkDrain. And yeah, that's about it.
You ever going to tell them about your fun habit to do with me related to Twitter?
Oh yeah, I guess I could say that. So, I
Then you'll encourage everyone else to do it.
Yeah, I actually shouldn't tell them because then just every day it'll happen to you and it'll be terrible. So I'll leave that between you and me, Snitch. That can stay quiet. For real though, shout outs to Jake for all the work he's put into Bloodlust for the scene and for Arcanate and stuff, and including me and all that stuff. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on, everyone. Really excited, nervous, but excited about Arcane 8. It's been, again, a massive undertaking, just kind of making it all happen. I got to give shout outs to everyone who's involved. So my fiance, obviously I've been talking to Dunk about it a lot, getting opinions from people just about like the naming it, the branding, everything, the whole deal. Sophus going to be our admin. He's been helping out. He wrote the whole rule set for Bloodlust. Signups is up. Ryan has created our graphics for both Bloodlust and Arcane 8, and he's done an excellent job. I think both the logos are amazing. Actually, just to give a quick story, I told him about Arcane 8, and I told him about the name of it. And that's kind of a drawn-out thing, so I guess I'll explain why Arcane 8, what that means to me, and the significance of it another time. Sorry, I'm going to be a teaser like that. But maybe he'll do a personal stream later tonight. I don't know. But yeah, and I like just kind of told them about it like after dorm. Like we were just kind of hanging out, having dinner together. And he hit me up like 3 weeks after the event, and he sent me that logo pitch with a few other ones. And I was like, whoa. And that kind of caught me off guard, right? I don't expect people to just take a conversation out at dinner and then follow up weeks later, especially, in their own time. And I was like, yeah. And, this is created a pretty cool, relationship with him to make that well, it helped make it a reality, because I was feeling kind of discouraged with the whole project. But when someone else steps forward and like puts in some effort and like you genuinely appreciate that, it helps motivate you. So that really got it back on its feet. And then obviously everything else, and Ting coming in to sponsor, Maturino helping us out, launching the campaign. It's cool. We got a long way to go. We got a lot of cool stuff to do. We got to make this the greatest and the most fun event ever. I want to emphasize that it's designed to feel grassroots. It's designed to feel fun. That is the purpose of Bloodlust. We want it to just be a blast. We want everyone to feel like they're watching a group of friends play and watch video games, essentially, because that's what I like to watch. So that's what I want to achieve. So yeah, follow the Twitter for Arcane8, Arcane8_GG. The YouTube can be found at arcane8.com. And thank you for everyone contributing to Bloodlust, which is now at $6,043, hitting our next stretch goal. We have added one more stretch goal, and I guess I should clarify what it is. It's called Town Holiday. It is the equivalent of a Town Holiday, where it would be a drinking episode. It would be fun. Kubi and Zoya have both agreed to come on for it. So this is how you would get Kubi back on Town Hall for at least an episode. And Dunk would be there. Maybe BKB, maybe Sham 2. Who knows? The possibilities are ridiculous, and we want it to be a really fun thing. So if we hit that stretch goal, Town Holiday will be something truly special. People are saying Arcanite, basically, no, Arcane and then 8. So 8, the number 8. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it.
Stretch goal where I get flown out for the analyst desk as well, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
same.
the analyst couch.
Well,
My bad.
If we're going to spend money,
We'll
it's gonna
fly
be
you
a
out for the
bakery,
couch,
right?
no
We
problem.
need an actual analyst.
Oh.
Shots.
Don't know about that one.
I mean, it's true. Like when you have bakery or snitch, I'd always go bakery.
Right?
Yeah, that's why bakery gets invited on it nowadays, isn't it?
Damn. Yeah, you're right. Anyways, friends, thanks so much for tuning in, and GG's.
Oh. I missed him.
I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. So many buttons. Welcome here. We clear.